the Corps of Cadets, and he asked them to come both pumped up and loud. So the Corps of Cadets responded with a positive uproar, and I'm excited to see what kind of emotions that they bring to the game today.
Andy, thank you. Stephen Anderson and the Cadets ready to start year 2 of the Rich Ellerson era here at Army. Coach E, as he's known to his players, taking on his alma mater today. In the 1970s, Rich Ellerson played linebacker and was a starting center at Hawaii. He had 3 different stints there as a coach. Married in Hawaii, 2 of his children were born on the islands. It's the first time he's faced the Warriors as a head coach. And Rich Ellerson knows about how far Hawaii had to travel for this game. Nearly 5,000 miles. Not only the longest road trip in the FBS this year, the longest since Army went to the islands in 2003 and lost badly to Timmy Chang in Hawaii that year. That was the only prior meeting. Now, the Hawaii players took a red-eye from Honolulu on Tuesday night, landed in New Jersey on Wednesday, and Coach McMacken and his team have been in the East Coast region and the Army area since then. It's year 3 for Coach McMacken, a defensive coordinator for ex-coach June Jones, who's now at SMU, for that 2007 magical run for the Warriors, 12-0, led by Colt Brennan, en route to the Sugar Bowl. Today's telecast on the CBS College Sports Network being brought to you in crystal clear high definition. Army has won the toss, defers, and Hawaii will receive here. Matt Campbell will kick off. The cannon fires, and we're underway. The 2010 season. Royce Pollard will return here for Hawaii. Looks for a seam to the 18-yard line, or he's sent down. That's where the Warriors will take over, 1st and 10. Let's take a look at today's quarterback profile, brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's Bryant Moniz. Told us yesterday, Jason, he's ready to go, taking on Army here today.
Yeah, you know, he's focused. He's had a whole week to prepare. You know, the one thing he's got a quick release. He doesn't take sacks. He's mobile. We talked about that earlier. And the attitude. He understands what it takes to play the quarterback position in the run and shoot.
Saw some numbers. Bryant Moniz up to White. Rack up 459 passing yards against USC a week ago Thursday in their season opening game. First play from scrimmage. Moniz is throwing. Quickly brought in, and a catch made by Hawaii's Kealoha Polaris, one of their top players. Today's Geico difference makers. First offensively for Hawaii, Jason.
You know, you got to start with the wide receivers. Greg Salas, he can run all the routes, make all the plays. Great hands, huge size for a wide receiver in the run and shoot. Polaris, here's another, out of the backfield, can catch the ball well. He is deceptively good at running the football. They don't run it a lot, but when they do, on the draws, he finds the open seam, gets downfield.
Polaris, the big games we saw against USC last week. He's a senior at 5'10", 205 pounds. Throwing here, Polaris has another one. 35-yard line, first down. Stephen Anderson makes the tackle. Defensively, had 10 tackles against Eastern Michigan in the season opener for Army last week.
The key for Army is just going to be understanding the concepts and how Hawaii is trying to attack them. Josh McNary has got to create pressure on the quarterback. He's got to get in the backfield. Linebacker L.B. Brown, he has to be able to get everybody set up, to put people in the right positions. There's no way that you can be in the wrong position to succeed against this offense.
Good difference makers offensively for Army. So first down, 9-yard pickup. Moniz throwing again. Greg Salas has his first catch of the day. He's wrestled down after a short game there, picked by Donnie Dixon, the Sam safety for the Army defense. Top of the screen, you see the starting lineup for Hawaii, ranked number 3 nationally in passing offense last year, 337 yards a game, 14th overall, 437 yards. A year ago, this team can run and shoot and score. Pick up a 3 on the first down play. Bryant Moniz. Ready again. Again passing. Over the middle. Ball brought in. Greg Salas. At the 48 of Army. That'll be a first down. Antoine Aaron bumped him out of bounds.
What you saw there was pretty interesting. Army's going to have to bring some pressure. They can't sit back and just allow Hawaii to attack and pick them apart. They've got to take shots. pick your points, but you've got to make the quarterback feel uncomfortable in the pocket. There's no way you can just let him sit back there without getting hit and beat around a little bit.
Antoine Aaron, who was held out by coaches, precautionary measure last week due to the leg injury at Eastern Michigan, makes the play there. His first tackle of the 2010 season. First down, Hawaii. Moniz, a lot of time, too much time. Throws over the middle, pass incomplete. Looks there for Rodney Bradley, the senior from Dallas, on the post route. Had a step or two on the defense of Army.
These strengths and vulnerabilities are kind of comical this week because they're mirror images of each other. Obviously, Army's going to be able to run the ball and stop the run. Hawaii's going to be able to pass the ball and stop the pass. That's what they practice. That's what their skill set and their personnel is built to do. These two teams, I'll tell you what, the weakness of them, whichever weakness is more glaring. So if Army doesn't defend against the pass, or if Hawaii can't defend against the run, the team whose weakness is the strongest wins this football game today.
First incompletion for Bryant Moniz, former pizza delivery guy, as he was a walk-on at Hawaii before earning the starting job. Throws here to Salas, who's wrestled down at the 43-yard line. L.B. Brown, the player Jason mentioned as a Geico difference maker, has the tackle there. Last week against USC, Jason, we talked about it, huge numbers. Although a lot of the stats and touchdowns were late after USC had put the game away.
Yeah, but the point is that you know that they can move the football up and down the football field. What they complained about, and talking to Coach McMacken, was we've got to score touchdowns. They had 3 field goals in that football game. They felt as though if they could score the touchdowns, put the ball in the end zone, they'd have won that football game. Something
new to Hawaii's offense this year is the pistol formation. You see here, they call it the Kiko, which in Hawaiian means point or tip. Third down, Moniz throwing. Salas catching. He'll have a first down and more inside the 30-yard line of Army. L.B. Brown helped upend him on the far side. Another nice pickup, and Moniz Jason early looks very sharp.
Absolutely.
Brings up first down.
Well, the Army defense will be challenged today, especially as we check our icy hot injury report. That Andrew Rodriguez, the whip linebacker and leading tackler from last year, out indefinitely, has not practiced with a back injury, could be for the year. And Nate Combs, as Army takes a timeout, out for the season. Knee surgery required after being hurt first series
same
at
position.
Eastern Michigan last week, the same position. Tough for Army. 5 D-backs in the game today, though, for the Cadets.
I am not just a soldier, but a father who will do what's right for the future of my own children and millions of others.
I'm not just a pilot, but a son who will give of myself as my father did to keep my country free.
I'm not just a sailor, but a wife who will sacrifice today to better families like mine for generations to come.
Because they've always been there for us, we'll always be there for them. USAA. If you have honorably served, let us serve you.
.306 horsepower, race-inspired paddle shifters, and F-Sport tuned suspension, all available on the new 2011 Lexus IS. It isn't real performance unless it's wielded with precision.
What's your 230 feeling like?
Well, it's like my brain just stops working.
Feel fuzzy, groggy.
I can barely keep my eyes open.
So what do?
I used to get another coffee.
Yeah, coffee or soda.
Then another coffee.
I switched to 5-hour energy.
Just one 5-hour energy.
The rest of the day, I'm great.
0 sugar, only 4 calories.
I don't feel jittery. I'm in control.
It's me. Just a better, more awake me.
Gotta try 5-hour energy.
5-hour energy. Hours of energy now. No 230 feeling later.
College football on the CBS College Sports Network is brought to you by the U.S. Army. There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Find out more at GoArmy.com. By Travelers. Call or click now for an agent or quote. And by Warner Brothers Pictures, The Town. In theaters everywhere September 17th.
United States Military Academy, first occupied by the Continental Army in 1794. Makes it the longest continually occupied post in the United States. Congress formally established it March 16, 1802. Great part of Army football this year. It's a change. You see the Corps Cadets, more than 4,000 strong on the far side. So you see them throughout We'll broadcast here on the CBS College Sports Network all year long. Our home games here at Michie Stadium. Adds to an already great atmosphere. 1st and 10 for Moniz in the offense. Finally a run for the first time in the game. As the carry is taken by Alex Green, a senior out of Portland, Oregon. Tackle by Stephen Anderson, his second of the game for the senior captain, back from a knee injury last year against Air Force. Missed the last couple games.
2 good points there. First of all, they try to catch him off guard with the draw. Army's ready. And the second point is Stephen Anderson, you can tell he's not just solely focused on the pass. He realizes there is a back behind the quarterback. Clear him first before you take off in pass coverage.
Top of your screen, you just saw the updated Hawaii drive. Moniz has been very effective. Gain of 1 by Green on the first run of the day for Hawaii. Moniz, time, throws over the middle, knocked down, incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Almost picked off near the goal line by Donovan Travis, who had an interception last week in the season opener at Eastern Michigan, the 7th of his career.
The key to this is the pressure. He wasn't able to set his feet. He wasn't able to throw the ball where he wanted to throw it because he was getting hit. A quarterback who gets hit, if you can get Josh McNary clear on the outside, if you can get him on the edge, get him to the quarterback, he's not going to be able to set his feet. He's not going to throw the ball downfield.
We talked with Bryant Moniz yesterday at the walkthrough for Hawaii. He said, I know who number 44 is, and he just met him up close and personal. Big play McNary. Coach is so emphatic about that yesterday. Got to get to Moniz. 3rd and long. Moniz time, throws over the middle, caught, and touchdown Hawaii. Brought in Royce Pollard, 26 yards on a strike from Bryant Moniz.
And I think the disappointing thing right there for Army is the fact that the previous play, they got a hit on the quarterback, had an opportunity to intercept the ball, and you come back and you get bit with a 26-yard touchdown pass the very next play. When you watch this play, you can't have false steps. You saw the cornerback with the false step, and the safety's got to do a much better job of reading the quarterback's eyes. He's sitting there high center. He's got to get there to make that hit. Might be a big game, but you can't allow him to get in the end zone.
Scott Enos comes in for the PAT, the senior, just outside Sacramento, California. Nails it. Great start. Hawaii's offense so good against USC last week. Pollard, one of 3 receivers over 100 against the Trojans a week ago.
2 beefy flame-broiled patties with melted cheese. We call it the Buck Double. How much does it cost? Take a wild guess, cowboy. The quarter-pound Buck Double, just $1, only at Burger King.
Recently, a whole new kind of cloud came to St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Ask me what a cloud feels like.
And here are the first real people to sleep on those brand new clouds.
Ask me what it feels like to be comforted by a cloud.
A new Temper Cloud Supreme by Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me why we love our cloud.
Ask me how it's soft as a cloud.
And it still supports me.
Ask me why this is a million times better than my pillow top.
A pillow top may look nice and puffy, but underneath are hard metal springs.
Ask me why it's bye-bye pillow top.
Bye-bye.
The new Temper Cloud is the plushest, softest Tempur-Pedic ever, and it comes with a 20-year warranty.
Ask me where I'd like to be right now.
Ask me how many people I'm going to recommend this to.
Tempur-Pedic brand owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how to take the first step to your own cloud.
Call for your free information kit with DVD, 1-800-913-6364, or visit TempurPedic.com/cloud.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
Every family has a journey.
My mom shipped me and my brother to my dad's for the summer.
Every love has a beginning. Every summer has a story. From the best-selling author of The Notebook.
You don't even know who you are, Ronnie.
Who am I?
You are the kindest, most beautiful daughter in the world.
The Last Song.
Movies playing on channels 125 through 199.
This is the 9th anniversary of September 11th, and it's Salute to Heroes Day. Police officers, firefighters, emergency personnel received reduced ticket prices today. The first 25,000 fans got an American flag. We saw those young fans with them a moment ago. Before the game, 15 first responders who answered the call at Ground Zero on September 11th were interacting with the fans. They'll also be part of a halftime ceremony, and you and I, Jason, met with Stephen Anderson, Trent Steelman yesterday, Army stars, and talked about what 9/11 meant to them.
You know, and what I remember them saying was just how it motivated them. One was in junior high, I think one was in 6th grade, but the motivating factor from that point on and how it changed their lives. And I think it changed a lot of people's lives. And what I remember mostly is the togetherness of this country. And I think that's one of the cool things, just watching us all come together for one common cause.
Scottiness kicks off here for Hawaii. Malcolm Brown from just shy of his goal line, busts through one tackle on special teams, gets across the 20. That's where Army will take over 1st and 10. First home possession of the 2010 season. As we take a look at today's quarterback profile, brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's Trent Steelman.
You got to think about it. 2nd season, so he's just scratching the surface. When you think about what he did in his first season last year as the first true freshman, led Army in rushing, the intelligence level that he has, his toughness, he makes all the throws, makes all the right decisions, can make the right throws, gets his offense in the right position to succeed. And that's the one thing the coaches are so fired up about is this year he's able to play fast because you have to think as much.
There's Brown quickly in motion back to his spot. 3 backs as usual. Triple option behind Steelman. He'll hand off Patrick Mealy's first carry. And he's hit pretty hard right at the line of scrimmage. Here are today's Geico difference makers for the Army offense. First, Jason.
First is, we talked about in the opening, Mr. Inside Jared Hassan. This is a guy that's going to open it up for everybody else on the outside edge. If he can get on track and get some yards up between the tackles, it'll create all the outside running room for Patrick Mealy to get that speed on the edge of the football field. Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. These two guys complement each other perfectly in this triple option.
Kind of like Davis and Blanchard, right? 2 Army legends.
Okay.
Steelman is throwing over the middle. His pass is incomplete. Looking there for a streaking Malcolm Brown at midfield, and Trent Steelman took a hit at the end of that play.
Now on defense, what you've got to be able to do with this triple option is to be able to read it. For Falamalu, he's got to realize which side it's going to. You can't ever guess, and you also have to hold point with Jared Hassan. You can't just take off to the edge because they could be running up the middle of the football field.
Pai Falamalu, one of the top linebackers, plays the stub linebacker position from the North Shore of Oahu. For the Warriors, Steelman on the sprint right. They like to move the pocket. Trent will keep here. 30-yard line, tries to turn the corner and lunge for the marker. Nice effort, but he's ruled out of bounds at the 32. Needed the 33 for the first down. Puokela Ahmad helped push him out of bounds for the Warriors.
Well, you know, you'd say the strengths and vulnerabilities are the very similar things that you saw for a Hawaii offense and Army defense. But if Army's going to come out and try to throw the ball 3 times, it's kind of not really going to be about defending the run. It's just going to be out guessing which offense Army's going to bring on the football field. This triple option is a 50-run-a-game offense, and right now, I think that we got 2 runs and 3 pass attempts.
Jonathan Bowles, senior, had 2 punts, 32-yard average last week at Eastern Michigan. Salas and Henry, 2 deep safeties here for Hawaii to return the punt. We've got whistles first to stop play. Delay of game.
Delay the game. Number 18 and a half offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat fourth down.
What did Rich Ellison, Army's head coach, tell us yesterday? Special teams, key. Punt game, key. Cannot have mistakes like this early in a game to compromise field position, as the coach said.
He just said that what they have to do is create long field positions. When you have the opportunity to pin Hawaii back, when you have the opportunity to make them operate on a long 80, 90-yard field, you've got to take advantage of that. And right now, moving yourself 5 yards back isn't exactly taking advantage of that.
Bowles directional kick, side of his foot, and it angles out of bounds. Going to give Hawaii very good field position. So Rich Ellison after the penalty, then that bad punt all the way to midfield. That's where Hawaii gets it next.
I am not just a soldier, but a father who will do what's right for the future of my own children and millions of others.
I'm not just a pilot, but a son who will give of myself as my father did to keep my country free.
I'm not just a sailor, but a wife who will sacrifice today to better families like mine for generations to come.
Because they've always been there for us, we'll always be there for them. USAA. If you have honorably served, let us serve you.
306 horsepower, race-inspired paddle shifters, and F-Sport tuned suspension. All available on the new 2011 Lexus IS. It isn't real performance unless it's wielded with precision.
Jamie, you're having a great year on the track, man. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Nice job on the tour. Hey, you know what we should do the next time we win? Imitate each other's victory celebrations. We should do that. Yeah.
Gear up with great deals at Bass Pro Shops, like Redhead long sleeve jersey crews and Henleys, your choice only $12.94 each. And save $30 on Redhead Bighorn boots. Plus, join the fun this weekend at our U.S. Army Celebration event. Your adventure starts here.
National titles for Army between 1944 and 46, 7 Lambert trophies, best team in the East, and 6 Commander-in-Chief's trophies in the battle with Army and Navy. And some of the greatness led by amazing running backs on the field. Mr. Inside, Felix Stock Blanchard won the Heisman as a junior, 19 touchdowns. In 1946, Mr. Outside, Glenn Davis captured the Heisman after finishing second in the balloting a year before to Blanchard. Then Pete Dawkins, the last Heisman winner in Army history, 1958. And what an honor it was, Jason, for you and I last year here on the CBS College Sports Network to spend an entire quarter on the air with Pete Dawkins.
It was pretty cool picking his brain, getting an idea of what it was like on the on the post, and just what they go through their 4 years here and then playing football, and hearing it from somebody who's been there, done that, was a pretty cool opportunity.
Bryant Moniz and the Hawaii offense back in the field. He was 7 for 9, 80 yards. The touchdown pass to Pollard on the first drive of the day. Moniz throwing on first down. Caught again. Pollard again. And he lumbers forward to the 41-yard line. He's very close to the first down. Armed Forces football is proudly supported by Scion.
This is a really important drive for Army. The last thing they can afford to do is go down 14 points early in the first quarter here. You've got to minimize the damage of that punt. You know, that 5-yard penalty created a 35-yard difference in field position for Hawaii's offense.
Not a good punt by Jonathan Bowles, only went 24 yards. So Hawaii again, Green again, plenty of room to maneuver, upended last moment. Good tackle in the open field made by Josh Jackson. Otherwise, Alex Green may still be running. Green, the senior from Portland, Oregon, had 66 yards and a touchdown run against USC last week.
Not exactly minimizing the damage by the punt, but what you're going to see here is Hawaii's going to keep you honest. They're going to make sure you're playing run as well. You can't just pin your ears back as a defender and get up the field towards the quarterback. You've got to clear the run first. You have to, with this pistol formation with the running back right behind the quarterback, it really keeps the defense honest because the threat of run is there every single play, whereas when he's set off, not quite so much.
Gain of 15 on first down for Green. Moniz, time. Gets around Mackey, throws, Erzinger nearly picked it off, incomplete at the 15. Good play by Steve Erzinger, lunging to break that one up.
And there you see the mobility of Moniz to be able to escape the pass rush, create a little bit of extra time. For those of you who haven't played the quarterback position, they always tell you not to throw across your body.
2nd and 10.
So what you see here is Moniz is going to escape the pass rush, get to the outside, but he doesn't see Erzinger back there, and he does a great job just coming back across the field, knocking the ball down.
Pollard.
Eyes, got to have vision.
That's right. Players talked to us yesterday about having your eyes in the right spot. Bolaris, along with Pollard and Salas, out on that route. L.B. Brown and Dixon on coverage there. Incomplete pass to Greg Salas. Greg told us yesterday at the Hawaii walkthrough he's recruited by New Mexico and Utah, but only as a defensive back. Hawaii was the only scholarship offer to play wide receiver. Came out of Southern California, Chino, California. I think that was the right decision. He's an All-American candidate now.
I think he made the right decision there. He understands he wants the ball in his hand. He wants to be able to score touchdowns. It's the offense. Everything's about the offense. The rules are made for them. Smart kid.
124 yards receiving for South last week against USC. So far, Hawaii perfect. 3rd down conversions. They'll try again here. Moniz, some pressure. Rolls right. Bryant Moniz, feeling the heat, throws, has another man. Brought in Pollard outside the 10. It'll be a Hawaii first down. Royce Pollard ad-libs well with Moniz and gets open downfield, gain of 15.
This is what we talked about the defensive coaches yesterday is they're not going to be able to cover 4 and 5 wide receivers in the open field. It's just impossible for longer than 4 or 5 seconds. So if Moniz can create this kind of space and get himself some more time, the receivers are going to find an open spot. So the pass rush, they were saying to us, the pass rush has to get there and it has to keep him in the pocket. You've seen twice now where he's escaped that pocket and created a little bit more time. They don't want to let him do that.
Moniz, Jason, already over 100 yards passing. 104 yards. First down. Throws too high this time for Pollard, who's got 3 catches for 50 yards. It'll be second down. Today's Red Zone brought to you by Verizon.
You're already seeing here the last couple of times that Army's brought in pressure. It's forced some high throws, some erratic throws. It's flushed the quarterback out of the pocket. They've got to be a little bit more aggressive. You don't want to just die a slow death. You don't want to just sit there and play coverage the entire day and allow Bryant Moniz to pick you apart. Scramble around, move it outside the pocket, bring more than they can pick up, which creates some stress in your secondary to have to cover these wide receivers. But it also creates some stress on the quarterback.
4 receivers in the game now. That includes Rodney Bradley to the far left bottom of your screen. So many choices for Moniz. Second down. Bryant time throws near side. It is Bradley, brings it in. Shakes a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown Hawaii. Rodney Bradley makes the catch, makes a tackler miss, in for 6.
That's effort right there. That's just a will and desire and a want to get in there. And Josh Jackson had pretty good coverage and the opportunity to make the tackle. Just didn't make the tackle. You know, I just talked about, you're going to play some one-on-one coverage out there, and you're going to try to bring some pressure, but you've got to make this tackle. You can't allow him to break the tackle, especially when he's only got another 10 yards to run to the end zone.
First TD catch of the year for him, had 5 last year for Hawaii. Eno's in and has the PAT. Great start for Hawaii's offense. How about this? 2 possessions, 2 touchdown passes for Bryant Moniz. As he told us yesterday in the walkthrough, I'm feeling fine after that hit last week against USC. He looks great.
.306 horsepower, race-inspired paddle shifters, and F-Sport tuned suspension. All available on the new 2011 Lexus IS. It isn't real performance unless it's wielded with precision.
Let me get this straight, babe. You want me to book a hotel for all your friends and family?
Yes, with the fundraising event?
Can't make it happen, babe. I'm getting my highlights done. Gotta get my mani-pedi on. Yeah.
Ditch the zero. Get with the heroes.
HotelPlanner.com guarantees you the lowest rates or they will pay for your hotel room.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Here you go. Hey, big guy. You want to play with us? I'm going to put this ball right here, and you're going to give it a big old kick. Come on.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Well, the young man in the baseball cap, number 42 for Army, unfortunately cannot play indefinitely, as we told you about. It's Andrew Rodriguez. Jason, he led this team in tackles last year, the whip linebacker spot. Back injury has put him out indefinitely. Perhaps surgery is necessary down the road for Andrew. They're not sure when he can come back. Frankly, coaches told us yesterday, and he was trying to lead on the troops a moment ago.
It's just such an unknown, they said, because they're not really sure if rehab's going to fix it or if surgery's going to fix it. They're trying to, be cautious and allow him to rehab, but such a frustrating situation for Andrew Rodriguez and the Army team. And they were talking about it the other day. He shows up in uniform last week in CMU, and he's on the sideline, and he said, I feel great, I can play now. You get the game adrenaline jitters, and he's like, they had to make sure he didn't have cleats on. Like, you can wear a uniform, no cleats.
They sure miss him. Scott Enos kicking off here. Going to be Malcolm Brown again inside the 15, makes one tackler miss, slides forward toward the 30, and he's knocked down at the 29-yard line. That's where Army will take over on its second possession of this game, already down by 2 touchdowns. Trent Steelman sporting the new Army uniform this year. Talk about some of his attributes, Jason.
We're talking about the first plebe true freshman to start at quarterback for Army. The intelligence, understanding this triple option, understanding where to go with the football and what the defense gives you. Being able to run inside and outside, but getting north and south, no lateral yards. And then when you think about the upside of him, that was just year 1. This is year 2. They say he's playing so much faster because he doesn't have to think as much about the offense.
Handing off here, Jared Hassan. The big fullback we told you about, top of the broadcast, transfer from Air Force. 3 touchdowns in his Army debut last week. Nearly 240 pounds.
Jared Hassan.
We thought about a nickname for him, maybe the Tank. Stephen Anderson, team captain, said it's already done. Hassan the Assassin. It's too easy. A perfect fit for that B-back spot, triple option offense. Power all the way. Brown in motion. Give up the middle again, it's Hassan. This time he's stacked up right away. Von Meatunga. Kaniela Toipuloto in on the stop defensively for Hawaii.
Getting tested early with the phonetics, aren't you?
Ready. Already. Last week, Jared Hassan, the sophomore from just outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 12 carries, 68 yards, 3 touchdowns. The last came with only 38 seconds left in the game against Eastern Michigan on the road in Ypsilanti. 3rd down. Steelman. Option look. Open for that marker, and he's going to be stopped short again. Nail at the 37, needed the 39 of Army for a first down, and it'll be punt time for Jonathan Bowles, unfortunately, here for Army fans, already down by 2 touchdowns.
And so far, Hawaii is doing a great job of protecting the perimeter of their defense and not allowing them to stretch the edge and get them misaligned with their flow coverage and their pitch responsibilities.
Jonathan Bowles the punt again. First kick, only 23 yards. His dad, Herman, a 1978 West Point grad. He's come back to be an instructor as well. Jonathan was born here on post. Much better punt. Beautiful kick, spiral. Henry stumbles. Was the knee down? No, but he's certainly down inside the 10-yard line. Drilled downfield by Carson Hami. A long snapper and backup defensive lineman. Hami, one of the top students on this team. Coaches tell us he is a Rhodes Scholar candidate.
Call that a much better product.
Great kick.
You got
49 yards this time.
You got him pinned inside the 10-yard line. Now you've created this long field that the Army coaches were hoping to create to force Hawaii to make passes all the way down the field, because they're going to try to keep the ball in front of them, but they want them to have to do this 10 or 12 times down the football field, not just 2 or 3 from the 50 in.
Right, Hawaii offense back on the field. They are 2 for 2 so far on touchdown drives. Flags fly. Moniz lost the ball briefly, and he and the offensive line quickly back on it. We've got a penalty coming. And we will get the call here. Up front, Mike Gann, senior defensive tackle, applies some pressure.
Like McNary jumped the gun a little.
Offsides. 44 the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Tom Zamorsky, our referee today. ACC crew, you are correct, sir.
And just another situation where you've got basically a sack, a 5-yard loss, and now you'd be lining up playing second down, and instead it's 1st and 5. These are the kind of mistakes the coach was saying. They say they can live with them, the aggressive penalties, lining up offsides, whatever. But I think in scenarios like that, they're going to change their mind.
Now, this is not the offense, Jason, you want to give extra opportunities to, or a shorter drive potentially. Moniz out of that pistol or the Kiko formation. Has some time, throws over the middle, brought in Bradley. Nice catch in traffic. Outside the 20-yard line, first down for Hawaii. Josh Jackson makes the stop defensively for the Cadets. Let's take a look at today's Scion key matchup.
When you think about it, for Hawaii, Bryant Moniz has to make all the right reads. He's got to put the ball like there in the spots where it's supposed to be. And Stephen Anderson has to get his defense lined up. He's got to put his guys and make sure they're all in the right positions so that there are no seams, so there are no open spots out there. As the leader of the defense, you cannot have a discombobulated group out there.
Anderson so confident after the knee injury last year against Air Force, knocked him out. Chizi Demude gets his first carry and he's going nowhere. McNary helped put him down. Great defensive pressure by Josh McNary up front.
And so far, what we've seen here is when Army decides to bring some pressure, when Army wants to blitz or bring more than they can pick up, they've had success. You see here, they bring 2 people up the middle. They try to run into it. Army does a great job of reading it, making the tackle, getting a big loss. The only instance where it hasn't worked for them is on the missed tackle. Other than that, even there, they were in position. So I think we're going to see a little bit more pressure from Army as the day goes on.
Good pressure there as well by Christopher Swain, junior defensive tackle out of Oswego, New York, not far from Syracuse. Loss of 12 on that play. So 2nd and 22. Hawaii's pass. Bradley again brings it in on the quick slant. Gets drilled. Hit hard in the open field by Jordan Trimble, the senior from just outside Washington, D.C. Older brother Jeremy, the all-time leading receiver in Army history, gain of 7.
And here you're going to see just a simple in and out from the 2 wide receivers in the slot. They're going to go ahead and set a pick, a rub route. South will come out and block. Trimble coming up, making the good open field tackle. These tackles, you pay a price for them in the 3rd and 4th quarter. As receivers, if you continuously take hits like that, you're going to be a little bit slower, a little bit more dinged up as the game progresses. If you allow them to run out of bounds and just get hit from the side or whatever, they don't feel those quite as much.
Hawaii 3 for 3 here. 3rd down conversions. Moniz. Here comes some pressure. Moniz is going down. He's sacked. McNary got there first. Josh McNary, all-time leading sack master in Army history, has a big one.
And once again, pressure. And they did something different here. They lined up Josh McNary on the left side of the football field. He's been on the right side the entire morning here. And all of a sudden, they put him on the left, bring the pressure. What you're seeing right now is success from Army bringing more than Hawaii can pick up. Why? Because they're doing a good job man-to-man coverage in the secondary.
8 tackles last week at Eastern Michigan. Alex Dunacki gets the punt away, almost blocked, angle to keep it away from Josh Jackson's reach. And out of bounds, right along the Hawaii bench. Good field position for Army at the 46 of Hawaii when we come back to West Point, New York.
Our breakout session is going to be great. Got the Gecko t-shirt, 4 million drivers switched. Gecko water bottle, notebook, chamois.
Sir, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with all this. I mean, it's not about me. It should be about how Geico's the 3rd largest car insurance company in the nation. Things like that.
Oh, of course. We're not going to get carried away.
Yeah, all right. As long as we don't overdo it.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Trent Steelman, quarterback for Army, the sophomore, who has left plebe status after finishing his freshman year. We had a nice meeting with Trent yesterday. So pleased to have moved past the first year onto his sophomore season.
Do you remember when we asked him what it was like? His eyes lit up. He cracked a huge smile. It was like just a weight had been lifted off his shoulder, that he was no longer that plebe and that he didn't have to address everybody as sir and colonel and sergeant and everything else on post.
Trent keeps here and he's buried. Not much there. Vaughn Maetunga makes the tackle. Let's go back down to cadet reporter Andy Nicholas for more on Trent Steelman.
Well, I talked to Trent Steelman earlier this week, and I asked him how much playing quarterback has helped him define his leadership in the Corps of Cadets. And surprisingly, he told me that, you know, he's just another sophomore down in the Corps. He runs the offense here on the field, but his leadership hasn't quite taken a foot yet.
And he's 2nd and 9 here after the 1-yard gain. End around play carried by Brown, and he's tripped up outside the 40-yard line of Hawaii. 3rd down coming up. Jason, getting back to Andy's point, what do the plebes have to do? You got to address everyone on the way by. Make sure that you say beat Hawaii, or whatever the theme of the week is.
Whatever the theme of the week is.
Garbage.
When you pass somebody,
laundry.
You've got to address them. You got to wake up in the morning.
Yep.
You're their alarm clock.
Oh boy,
that so you got to stand in the hallway. So he said he had to be ready, dressed with his room all completely clean, and then wake everybody else up. Yeah.
3rd and 4. He would say 5 minutes in a very loud monotone. 5 minutes until the time to eat. This is Brooks on the end around, and David is absolutely smacked. Nothing doing at all offensively for Army on this drive.
Right now, Hawaii is doing a great job with their defensive line of getting off the ball. When you see Hawaii and the ball snap, they're firing off and getting into the backfield of Army's offense. And you know what's interesting, Dave, is we talked to these coaches, and they were praising their offensive line as being just the solid strength mark of their football team. And so far today, they're getting beat up a little bit.
They sure are. Loss of 5. Kamala Umu makes the tackle defensively for Hawaii. End of the first quarter. It's all Warriors The long road trip looks good for Hawaii early.
.306 horsepower, race-inspired paddle shifters, and F-Sport tuned suspension. All available on the new 2011 Lexus IS. It isn't real performance unless it's wielded with precision.
I am not just a soldier, but a father who will do what's right for the future of my own children and millions of others.
I'm not just a pilot, but a son who will give of myself as my father did to keep my country free.
I'm not just a sailor, but a wife who will sacrifice today to better families like mine for generations to come.
Because they've always been there for us, we'll always be there for them. USAA. If you have honorably served, let us serve you.
At Polaris, we designed a trail-dominating legend, the Sportsman XP, to lead a new team of smooth-riding trail runners. We made a versatile, powerful, mid-size Ranger, launching a new group of value-minded workhorses. And we made the ultimate hunting vehicle, the Ranger XP, even better, heading up a new team of hard-working hunting machines. From a #1 maker of ATVs and side-by-sides, Polaris, hardest working, smoothest riding.
You gotta get back to making.
Jamie Johnson. Rolling Stone calls him Outlaw Country's next big hope. Now the award-winning artist returns with The Guitar Song, a new 25-song album featuring making and playing the part.
Taking depression pills in the Hollywood Hills, acting like I'm playing the
Spin Magazine calls it one of the most acclaimed releases of the decade. Pick up The Guitar Song, available September 14th at Best Buy.
Gordon Gekko was one of the biggest names on Wall Street before he went to prison.
That name doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mr. Gekko, my name is Jacob Moore. I'm going to marry your daughter.
Why don't you start calling me Gordon? I think you want to be part of the family business. It's easy to get in, it's hard to get out.
Is that a threat?
Absolutely.
He's not who you think he is. He'll hurt us.
He screwed me. Shocker.
You tell him for me, babe, Gordon Gekko is back.
Wall Street, money never sleeps. Rated PG-13.
What do you think makes great radio?
Preparation. The full package has to be right.
A combination of entertainment, humor, information.
You really have to have a very well-rounded show where you have to hit all of these different elements. It's really kind of a complicated thing.
So what do you think makes great radio?
Me.
Starting last year, Army head coach Rich Ellison had his players wear a certain patch on their uniforms. This year it's on the shoulder with a brand new look of the Army uniform. There's Josh McNary with his. Today it's the 25th Infantry Division, nicknamed Tropic Lightning, headquartered at Trofield Barracks, Hawaii. Light Infantry Airborne Aviation units formed in 1941, activated just before the Pearl Harbor attacks, defended Honolulu and Ava Beach after that, and have seen action in major military confrontations in the past.
Ball was out of bounds.
Punt there is out of bounds. Steven Anderson, star linebacker and captain, is back for Army. He talked to us yesterday about the knee, how it feels.
Knee feels great. I'll tell you what, being back on the field is just, you know, it means so much to me. And, I mean, hopefully you can tell me by the way I play if it feels great or not. So I just like flying around to the football with my boys.
You know, what was interesting is talking to him, you know, we talked about Trent Steelman and his leadership in the Corps Cadets and on the football field and how they don't translate. The same thing for Steven Anderson. He actually had to take the semester off because there's no way you can fulfill your duties as a cadet and rehab at the same time.
Hawaii takes over here. Jason will shuffle past to Green, and he's got some room to maneuver. Alex Green across the 25 to 30. Chugs forward. L.B. Brown finally puts him down at the 35-yard line. Big pickup, 23 yards for Green. Army thinking pass, and Hawaii catches him flat-footed.
Here you'll see, this is Army, or this is Hawaii with a sharp pencil. They realize McNary's getting some pressure, and they're not able to block him. So what they do is they just allow him to get up there, the little shovel pass underneath him, in the backs out the gate. The one thing you want to do is, if you have a weakness, use it to your advantage. Create plays that allow Army to get up the football field, and then use that to their disadvantage.
Hawaii coach Greg McMackin got to be pleased early with how the run shoot is clicking. Moniz throwing on first down, another completion. Brought in Bradley again, and he's got plenty of room to maneuver. Mike Gann came in, nearly hit him late, all the way to midfield. Gain of 15 yards for Hawaii's effective offense here. Bradley is lighting up the Army D.
There's two things here you're going to see here. The first is when you're playing man-to-man, this is the problem. Right there, 31, he's not even going to see the ball being passed. The outside receiver is going to come in, the block's going to go outside, let it roll. And as a DB, you've got to have a little bit of vision that he could have picked that off. The ball really went right behind his shoulder pads. He was in great position, but that's the problem when you play man-to-man is you don't have great vision on the quarterback, you have great vision on your man.
First down, Hawaii marching again. Steve Anderson, by the way, is out of the game right now for Army. Maybe that leg is not feeling so great. Salas makes the catch in traffic and lunges forward close to first down yardage. He needed the 41, is very close to that. Jordan Trimble put him down after another nice pickup. It looks like to me, Jason, this is a technical, surgical operation. Hawaii is just picking apart the Army defense.
Well, you know, if you can't create pressure on that quarterback, we've talked about this a lot so far in the first quarters. If you can't create the pressure, they're going to pick you apart. But if you create the pressure, now you got to play man-to-man coverage. So you pick your poison. Right now, I think Army's best bet is just to go ahead and try to get in the face of Brian Muniz.
Anderson has returned to the game. Kingsley Ahee was in for him for a couple of plays. Second and short. Moniz throwing, near side, another catch. Made again by Polaris. Kealoha Polaris, a senior from Oahu, Hawaii. Gain of 8. He is an outstanding talent. He had 5 catches, 176, and 3 touchdowns against USC a week ago Thursday.
Polaris has got that ability to make people miss. You know, when he's in the open field, and he's like a running back coming out of the backfield. He lines up on the outside, but he's got the running back ability, the ability to cut across the football field, do all the things that they tell you not to do, run backwards to get more yards forward. But he makes things happen after the catch.
First down, Hawaii again. Whistles, blowing flags fly. False start, going to go against the Warriors. Back them up 5.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of rotation now by the Army defense.
Offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So left tackle Austin Hansen, junior from Southern California. He told us yesterday at the walkthrough for Hawaii, the fit coming from SoCal, perfect for him. A lot of Californians go out to the islands to play their college ball.
You live by the beach, you go to the beach. It's not a bad transition for you.
Yeah, he said life couldn't be better. Are you kidding? 85 degrees about every day in Honolulu.
No complaints in Hawaii.
First down again. Moniz throwing deep. Salas has it at the 20. Greg Salas upended. On a spectacular hit in the open field by Josh Jackson, but not before a huge pickup again for Hawaii. Gave him 22 more yards, and Salas is having himself a day here, but we do have a flag.
Offense, number 51, 10 yards previous spot, first down.
Hansen again, Jason. Back-to-back penalties on Austin Hansen.
Well, what you're going to see here, it's just the simple fact of Army trying to create that pressure, and they're going to bring more than they can block, and what that does is it causes your offensive line to do things they don't want to do, like hold. If you can't block a man, the coach will tell you, go ahead and hold him. Take the abuse off of your quarterback. So you see, I mean, that's a takedown, but it's like, if you're going to create pressure, you force the offense to do things that they don't want to do. You get them out of their comfort level, not just the quarterback, but the offensive line as well. Now they've got to figure out who to pick up, where the blitz is coming from.
Hansen is the only returning starter on the offensive line. Moniz throwing deep ball, looks deep downfield. Polaris has got it, touchdown Hawaii. Kealoha Polaris. 48 yards, another touchdown for Hawaii. Third TD toss of the day for Bryant Moniz.
This is just pitch and catch. You know, if you're right here in the slot, you're just going to run down the sideline. They're going to right there, bad eyes by Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson had his eyes in the backfield watching the quarterback. He assumed and thought that Muniz was going to throw the ball to the flat. He didn't. They ran a little simple, hitch and go. The hitch by the outside guy, the go by the inside guy, and bad eyes caused that touchdown.
Scott Enos has the PAT, and what a start for Hawaii. Remember, it is 6 a.m. That was the game time, start time in Hawaii.
The 100% electric Nissan Leaf. Innovation for the planet. Innovation for all.
I faced one of the toughest challenges of my life right here. I couldn't swim, but I can still hear my drill instructor today. Don't quit. So I jumped in, apprehensive and scared out of my mind. But I came up a Marine.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hawaii coach Greg McMackin told us this week, Jason, he thought this might be his best team at Hawaii. This is year 3. He took over for June Jones after that great run in 2007. He and the Warriors have been aided, though, by some mistakes from Army.
That punt right there cost me 35 yards because the previous one was down to the 15-yard line. I wouldn't really call that a mistake, but you've got to be able to make the plays when you have the opportunities. And the tackle on the outside by Josh Jackson, when you have an opportunity to make a play, you've always got to make it because you always end up getting burnt or beat on the very next play. Earlier in the game, Army had an opportunity to get an interception. They dropped at the 5-yard line. The very next one was a 26-yard touchdown pass. When opportunities present themselves, you've got to take advantage. Otherwise, the score is 21-0.
Not the reunion-type game. Rich Ellison, who played and coached at Hawaii, who was married, 2 of his 3 children born on the islands, wanted to begin this game, that's for sure. Enos kicking. Malcolm Brown at the goal line. Tripped up outside the 20-yard line. About the 25 or so, that is where Army takes over. It's 1st and 10 line being brought to you by Golden Corral.
This is where Army's offense has got to get on track. They've got to be able to create a little bit of time management. I mean, the key for them has always been they run the ball and they control the clock, keep their defense off the football field. That hasn't happened so far. Right now, this offensive line is getting manhandled at the line of scrimmage.
Brown starts in motion. Steelman, little counter give. And a run taken the first time in his career by Raymond Maples, the freshman from Philadelphia, getting some action here. Did not have a carry in the season opener last week against Eastern Michigan. Stopped by Richard Torres. Gain of 11. And finally, the chains move for the Black Knights.
The chains move, and more importantly, you create a little bit of confidence for your offense. I mean, when you look at the total yards right there, 230 to 30. 30? That should be a series.
First down of the day, Jason. There's Cobbs in motion. Handoff, it is Hassan. And Jared Hassan from just outside Milwaukee to the 42-yard line. Now, Jared originally did verbally commit to Army. There was a coaching change going on. So he decided to go for Air Force at the last moment. Never played it down in Colorado Springs for Troy Calhoun. Realized a couple of weeks into his tenure at the Air Force Academy, he made a mistake. New coaching staff, Rich Ellerson, came in here. He wanted to make the transfer.
Sometimes that happens when you're 18 years old and you're making a decision that's going to affect the next 4 or 5 years of your life. You allow the coaching changes and the moves like that to influence you. He really wanted to be at West Point, and he realized that West Point was the place that he was going to get himself to.
Steelman pitches. Patrick Mealy has it across midfield. First big run of the game for Patrick Mealy, the senior from outside Washington, D.C. to the 46 of Hawaii, gain of 13.
And right now what you're seeing here is just a little bit of misdirection. They're doing some things to slow down that defense of Hawaii. What you have to do is just freeze them, you know, pop the handoff to the middle, make the Mike linebacker, middle linebacker freeze for a second, then pitch it. You don't necessarily always have to take the quarterback to the edge. Throw the ball out there to the edge and allow that guy to get there. You want to get your slot backs to the outside of the defense.
On first down. Fake, Steelman throws. Brooks brings it in, David Brooks. A nice catch at the 30-yard line. Gain of 16 for the junior from Newburgh, New York. Only 20 minutes from the academy here in New York State. His second career start.
Now, that was interesting. We were talking to the coaches about Steelman's ability to throw the football, and they said, you know what, you'd be surprised how well he can really throw the football if he can get his feet set. A lot of times we've got him rolling out of the pocket, he's throwing on the run, but if he can get his feet set, he's really an accurate passer, and so far, you know, we've seen a little bit of that in the first 2 games.
Only Brooks' third career catch and first of this season. Hassan, the assassin, rumbles forward, close to the 20-yard line, down to the 22. Gain of 8 on that run by Jared Hassan. 6'3", nearly 240 pounds.
You get the sense that there's a little bit different attitude right now out there on this Army offense, most notably in the offensive line.
Coming here from West Point and Mikey Stadium, Dave Ryan, Jason Senior, our cadet reporter Andy Nicholas, senior out of Pittsburgh. Great to have you with us here. Hawaii has dominated Army so far. 3 touchdown passes, Bryant Moniz, the Hawaii quarterback. Play goes up the middle again. Shy of the marker. And Jared Hassan, another carry. Now, Jared had 3 touchdowns, Jason, last week against Eastern Michigan. First time that an Army running back had 3 touchdowns in opener since Josh Holden did it in 2002. So an immediate impact for Jared Hassan.
You get a sense as you see these first times that under Rich Ellerson, there's going to be a lot of first times in quite some time. They've really done a lot to improve the first down, improve the attitude and the morale of this football team to make them believe they can go out there and compete with these guys. If they do what they're being asked to do, they'll win, but they've just got to execute.
Brent Steelman.
You know, it was interesting, we were talking to Rich Ellison last year. He was on a 3- or 4-year plan, and he was surprised that so many of the guys, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors bought into this program so quickly. He's like, this is a 2-year plan. We should be able to win now.
Saw Coach Ellerson signaling the offensive play. It's something new here. Steelman keeping a moment ago for the first down. Counter give, nothing doing there. Immediate stop by the freshman linebacker George Daly-Lyles, nails Mealy for a loss. So Jason, getting back to what Army booth with us, he'll call the play, and for the first time in his tenure here, now Rich Ellerson is going to signal in the play. As you can see that he's got signals going to Trent Steelman, and then it goes on from there.
And Ian said it was great for him because he can call the game plan he wants to call, and he said if Coach Ellerson decides to second guess me, he's got the ability to do it right there. He said for the most part, they've been together for about 7 years now. That doesn't happen a lot, but he said it really frees him up just to call.
The Buck linebacker, a junior from the island of Oahu. Third down coming up here for Army, and look at the Corps Cadets, nearly 4,000 strong on the far side in a brand new seating position. Looks great on TV.
Just looks
helps
great
the
for
atmosphere.
Us. We can see them before they were below us. You couldn't really get a feel for how many they were in that sea of white. This third down's big for Army because they don't want to have to settle for a field goal. You're down by 21 points. You know, against that offense of Hawaii, the last thing you're going to do is a little timeout. Is catch up with field goals.
Timeout, Army.
Timeout call by Army. We got 2 left, first half. 21-0, Warriors have a lead.
I just got this buck double off the BK value menu. It's flame broiled and it's only $1. It was a smart move, so I can be dumb.
You need a flashlight?
It's okay. The lightning helps me see.
Offset your stupid with the buck double. Just $1 from Burger King.
Polaris is having a factory-authorized clearance, which means you can get financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates on vehicles like the Ranger RZR, or the Sportsman XP, or the Ranger XP. That's financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates. Hey, it's all about the deal. That's all you need to know, right? All deal, no hype. The Polaris factory authorized clearance. Going on now.
Absolutely. This policy is customized just for you. This will save you the most money while making sure that you have the auto coverage that you need.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I'm a coverage counselor. It's what I do. Well, thank you for being an Esurance customer. Great. Bye, Richard. So did you guys get enough to make an online version of a coverage counselor?
Yep. It's coded and loaded.
Oh.
You're so popular. Like prom queen.
Want a great deal on car insurance? Go to Esurance.
You know, just like with everything, you're gonna have some technical problems. We usually try our best to hide them from Dan, just so he can focus in on the show.
You guys all good in there? Doesn't look like it.
We're all good, dude.
Okay.
We try to hide those. I think we're pretty successful at, keeping him sheltered from that stuff.
Should I be nervous? No more than usual.
The mascot of Army Sports, Blackjack the Mule, chosen due to the fact it is strong and determined. I wonder if they teach the mule how to say duty, honor, country.
Nice haircut, though.
Yeah, Raider the Horse and Blackjack the Mule.
That's a pretty good little artwork there with the shears on the A. This is huge for Army for multiple reasons. First, to get that core back into the game. I mean, right now they're a little bit deflated. They're just watching this going, wow, 21-0. And the other thing is it gives your offense that confidence. Okay, we can score touchdowns against them.
Got to punch in here if you're Army, no doubt. Big play, third down. Brown, the motion man. Hassan carries, hurdles, tacklers lumbering forward toward the 9. That's what he needs for the first down. And he looks to be half a yard short. Corey Paredes has his 5th tackle of the day.
And you got to assume
Hawaii.
It's a 4th down and we're going. You're down 21-0. The last thing, you can't kick field goals and catch up. Touchdowns are the only thing that's going to help you in this game.
And Rich Ellerson clearly is going to go for it. So a big play right in front of the Corps Cadets. See them top of your screen.
There they go.
Now they're making some noise. 4th and short. Brown back to his position to the left of Steelman. Trent keeps. Will have the first down, lunging forward to the 6. Chains will move, 1st and goal, Army, and the Corps responds.
And Army really needed that, not just the first down, but just that whole sequence of events right there. The big 3rd down play to get them 9 yards, then the 4th down play to get them a couple. Gets the crowd involved, now they're in scoring position. They've got to do something to build a little bit morale for themselves as well as the Corps. And as a running team, come on, 4th and 1, you've got to be able to convert those.
No doubt about that. 5 carries, 16 yards for Steelman. Saw the first couple drives on the day for Army not effective. This one much better. So 1st and goal. Steelman, the keep upended very quickly. Hit there by Brown. Aaron Brown, the junior from just outside Tacoma, Washington, the first to get to Trent Steelman.
And Hawaii is doing a really good job of clogging up the middle with their two tackles and linebacker. I mean, they're not allowing them to get a lot of stuff up the middle of the football field. If they do some misdirection, some midline option, they've got an opportunity to get those linebackers out of position and then get up in there. But just a straight running play up the middle hasn't really been that successful today.
All defense, Greg McMackin. In his years leading up to his first Division I FBS head coaching job. 2nd and goal. Handoff. Running left. Running in the end zone. Malcolm Brown. Touchdown, Army. Cannons. Resounding thunder across Lusk Reservoir. And several members of the Corps Cadets on the field for some push-ups. First home PAT try of the year, Alex Carlton. He's got it. 21-7. Some much-needed momentum. Much-needed push-ups here at West Point. Browns in for 6.
It's 2010. Weren't we supposed to have time machines by now? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can give the world real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't science give us an unlimited supply of do-overs?
Man, you dance like a man.
I dance like a man?
What? No, wait.
We've bent the rules of taste. Physicist, isn't it time to bend time?
Let me get this straight, babe. You want me to book a hotel for all your friends and family?
Yes, with the fundraising event?
Can't make it happen, babe. I'm getting my highlights done. Gotta get my mani-pedi on. Yeah.
Ditch the zero. Get with the heroes.
HotelPlanner.com guarantees you the lowest rates or they will pay for your hotel room.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Every week, get the inside track on the CBS College Sports Network's Games of the Week, the Mountain West, Armed Forces, and Conference USA. Plus a special look ahead to CBS Sports SEC coverage. Don't miss the lineup.
Molly Karam here in the New York studio. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, Brian Jones will be out here as we get you caught up on the big early matchups of the day, including Georgia visiting the Gamecocks and Florida hosting South Florida. We'll see you at the half.
Molly, thanks so much. Looking forward to that report. You get some great analysis from Brian Jones in our New York studios. Verizon Halftime Report coming your way. Rich Ellerson and Army must be pleased with a nice drive, capped off by Malcolm Brown's first career touchdown, Jason, of any sort. He started last year as a top
defensive
back for them, got hurt, didn't play much in 2009, but boy, after that plebe season, injury-free, effective now.
And they've moved people all over this football field. Kingsley, he was their slot RB back last year. Now he's playing linebacker. But what they've done is they've found athletes to put in positions to be successful.
Matt Campbell kicking off here. Hawaii on the return. Big run back. Sampson is finally knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 30-yard return. Trent Steelman talking to us yesterday about how important leadership is in the Army huddle.
First and 10 for Hawaii on the 41.
Just the overall voice I have, the command that and the trust that I've built through 12 games of last year. You know, I think there was a point last year when they were like, okay, this kid can make some plays, and now it's, yeah, we know he can make plays. We know he can come through in the clutch, and we know and have the confidence in him to get us in the right play and win games.
Trent certainly came through in that last drive. Clutch third down conversion, helping Army to its first score of the ball game. Moniz throwing on the near side. Another completion. Polaris brings it in. Wrestled down by Dixon from behind. Rich Ellerson is out on the field, wondering about the spot perhaps, and chucks his headset. Rich Ellerson very upset. There, the Army head coach.
You miss calls like that. It's right in front of you. You can see why a coach gets frustrated. His knee just, you can see he spun on his knee. It doesn't get much easier than that for an official.
Previous play is under further review.
They will review the spot here. Just on cue, so perhaps Coach Ellerson was correct. We'll get the official ruling from our video replay official, who is up with us in the booth. The question is where that knee went down. Clearly, Polaris slid down first, right in front of Coach Ellerson. And it should have been marked.
Clearly throwing the headset tells.
Emphatic reaction by Coach E, as he's known here on post.
Many will hear the calling.
Move it! Yes, sir!
Few will earn the title United States Marine. The few, the proud Marines.
We could really go for some shrimp. Who's cooking shrimp tonight? for about $10.
Bon voyage. No other place can touch Golden Corral's oceans of shrimp. It's all part of our endless dinner buffet, all for around $10. Only at Golden Corral.
Next Saturday on the CBS College Sports Network, Kellen Moore leads third-ranked Boise State and its national championship dreams into War Memorial Stadium to take on Wyoming. It's Boise State versus Wyoming next Saturday at 8.
Certainly appears as if Army head coach Rich Ellerson and his staff have a pretty good argument in this case. Let's check it out. Now, Keylora Polaris makes the catch for Hawaii. The knee's going to go down right about there. When it touches right there, that's where the ball's got to be down. No further. He was given a few more yards, as we'll see from this look higher up.
Well, the official right there, what's he seeing? That's the entertaining part.
Standard text messaging rates apply. Service is not available to all carriers.
Well, and then you see Rich. He's there, the extra official. I'd say that's pretty emphatic.
Fans on the athletics group tickets are great.
So that should be overturned. Takes indisputable video evidence for the review to overturn the play called on the field, but I think that's pretty clear cut. It should back up Hawaii a few yards. Change it roughly to a 2nd and 6 or 7, depending on where the official spot is.
I always love when you discuss the official review. The word "should" is always included in there. There's a whole lot of arbitrary, deliberation going on.
Get one now. Attention youth basketball players and coaches.
Rich Ellerson said to us yesterday that the effort for Army against Eastern Michigan was good but not great last week. In a last-second 31-27 win. Several areas had to be shored up. The team was down 27-24, less than 3 minutes left. He loved the last-minute drive, capped off by the Jared Hassel touchdown run.
What's interesting is the only group they praised was the offensive line. And today, that's really the only group that up until that last drive that really hadn't played that well.
After further review, the runner's knee was down. It'll be 2nd down and 6 at the 44-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 48 seconds.
Got it right. But as he spoke, he said, I think we got a little bit confident. We believed we were, better than what we were, and that we were just going to show up and win the football game. We had to go out there and play. And fortunately for us, we got a lot of learning mistakes in a W instead of a lot of learning mistakes in a loss.
So at the 44, it is in fact 2nd and 6 here for Hawaii after the review. From the pistol, or the Kiko as they call it. Bryant Moniz. Here comes some pressure, gets away from Mackey. Gets away from another Army tackler. On the move, throwing drop. Polaris at the 42, incomplete. Kealoha Polaris would have had a lot of room to run if he had grabbed that pass.
This is really what we're talking about in the opening with Muniz, is the fact that he can escape and avoid the pass rush. You see multiple Army defenders coming at him right there with opportunities to get him down. Josh McNary, who's obviously the greatest sack master in Army history, had him in dead to rights in the backfield, but Moniz has got that escapability. And you see now, he wants to throw the football. He looked like he had the edge to turn and run, but he's like, I'll get the ball downfield to my receivers and let them make some plays.
Hawaii 3 for 4 so far on 3rd down conversions. Moniz feels the heat. Moniz running. Midfield and more. 1st down, Hawaii, all the way to the 44-yard line of Army before Marcus Hilt finally tracked him down. Bryant Moniz can motor a dual-threat quarterback.
And this is the frustrating thing for Army. They're going to bring all the pressure up into the middle of the football field here, and that's where Moniz is going to escape, is in the middle of the football field. If you're going to bring pressure, at least make him go outside and go wide. What Army's doing, they're doing a great job of flushing him and trying to create that uncomfortableness in the pocket, but they've got to keep him there or contain him. And right now, with that escapability, he's getting himself past the line of scrimmage.
Pick up of 12, 1st down for Hawaii. Steve Erzinger just missed him, Jason, a moment ago on that sack drive. Flag flies. Down goes Moniz. Mike Gann, the senior defensive tackle out of outside Atlanta, Georgia. Flag is down. His dad, Mike Sr., star defensive lineman at Notre Dame, played 9 years in the NFL with the Falcons. Mike grew up around the NFL locker room in Atlanta and has said to us he just loves playing college football, wants to enjoy every moment of this, his senior season.
just a motor, one of those motor guys. You know, one of those guys, you play defensive line, it's a thankless position. Most of the time they just ask you to tie up linemen so the linebackers can make plays, or so the defensive ends can create all the glory with the sacks. So when you get up there, you've got to have a motor, just keep pushing, keep pushing. You think about it, the offensive guards for this team are close to 300 pounds. They've got them outweighed by 40, 50 pounds. We've discussed this in previous games, is Army doesn't lend itself to 300-pounders. You know, just the responsibilities of the cadets, you can't exactly be a 330-pounder and survive, you know, here on post.
Face mask. D offense, number 63. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Left guard Bryson Jinlack, senior from the island of Oahu, is the guilty party here.
This is the tough one here. You know, you've got an opportunity to have 2nd and 19 or 1st and 25. And they went with the 1st and 25. But you saw the grab just real quick on Mike Gann, ran right through it. The frustrating thing right there is Gann loses his sack.
So Mike Gann had the face mask interfere with and still made the play. That's impressive.
Still got there.
Well, the senior from just outside Atlanta. So 1st and 25. They'll take the penalty. Moniz, swing pass. Green has it. Alex Green stumbling forward toward midfield, knocked out of bounds by Steven Anderson. Armed Forces football is proudly supported by Coke Zero.
These swing passes for Hawaii's offense is kind of like the toss sweep in a normal conventional offense. It's just something to get them 4 or 5 yards, get to the outside, and because they use such quick guys like Polaris and in their backfield and on the outside edges, they've got people who can make people miss and with that top end speed to get them downfield.
Just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Mouse Davis, by the way, the architect of the run and shoot, is on the Hawaii staff. He's an assistant. The run and shoot so effective, and not this time. Josh McNary, another sack, his 2nd of the day. Mr. Sack at Army gets it going again.
If you're going to run the run and shoot, you got to protect your quarterback. If you can't protect your quarterback, you can't get the ball downfield. So far, we've seen Josh McNary in the backfield the good portion of this first quarter, or this first half here. Another play just coming from the outside, making the tackle this time, securing the tackle, not allowing Moniz to get outside of him.
Loss of 11. The coaches told us yesterday on the defensive side. Co-coordinators Payam Sadat, Chris Meelan. There's no excuse with this type of offense. Josh McNary's got to get to the quarterback, pin the ears back, and make a tackle, and did that. Big play. 3rd and forever here for Hawaii. Moniz just lets it go deep downfield. Looking there for Salas, incomplete. At the 25-yard line. Steve Erzinger, among many deep on coverage. Richard King involved offensively as well.
And when you create that for your defense, these long 3rd down situations, granted the face mask played into that, but the sack, you create unmanageable situations for an offense to try and get a 1st down. 3rd and 20, 3rd and 35, they don't have many of those plays in their playbook.
Flags down. Alex Dunaki kicking to Josh Jackson. Pinball around and sent down outside the 20 to 22. There is a marker down on the field. Dunaki is from Australia. Was discovered in Las Vegas at a kicking camp by Hawaii coaches. He played Australian rules football growing up and is a licensed surfing rescue officer in Australia. Not many of those in the FBS, I think.
Illegal formation against the kicking team. The penalty will be added at the end of the run. 1st down.
And Dunaki had said that there's a lot of kids over there right now in Australia learning to kick so they can come over here and translate it into the football game, the American football they want to play.
Wouldn't it be cool if cars didn't need keys? If you could talk to them with this? Wouldn't it be cool if you made a legend available to everyone? If there was a step right there? If you turbocharged this little guy? Wouldn't it be cool if old water bottles became new seats? If your car could clean up the air just like that? If you never bought another gallon of gas? Or what if cars could read your expressions? If they moved together like schools of fish and had force fields? Yeah, That would be cool. Nissan. Innovation for today. Innovation for tomorrow. Innovation for all.
Are things different now that I'm not crushing quarterbacks every Sunday? Yeah, a little bit. Thanks, Mike. But I'm still Michael Strahan, so I love Dr. Pepper. The taste of these 23 flavors can never be equaled, like me.
I got it. Thanks.
Mike? Hey.
What, man? Come on, Mike, man. Nice hit.
There's nothing like a pepper. Trust me, I've sent people to the doctor.
Oh.
Welcome back to the premier leader development institution in the nation, United States Military Academy, on a spectacular early September day for college football. This first and 10 line being brought to you by Golden Corral. 52.2 seconds remaining in the half, just to clarify.
Not exactly the situation Army's offense is built for, but we'll see what they come out with.
21-7 Hawaii, thanks to Bryant Moniz with 3 touchdown passes. He has been very effective in this game. Malcolm Brown scoring for Army. First career touchdown run for him.
First and 10 for Army.
And the Cadets will get it back here, sporting the new unis. What do you think of the new uniforms this year, Jason?
I like the look. I like
me too.
The script. I like the gold piece on the shoulder. The fashion-forward look.
Army in the front, West Point on the back. Steelman's going to keep. Trent Steelman, sophomore quarterback, looks for the 30. And out of bounds he goes.
Steelman gets. That was also close to personal foul. Drag him down by the back of the jersey like that.
7-yard gain. Lametris Davis makes the tackle.
Smart to let
senior
go.
from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, got to watch that horse collar tackle. That's 15 yards automatically. Davis 3 tackles in the season opener in Honolulu against USC a week ago Thursday. Lost that game 49-36. Matt Barkley tied a USC record with 5 touchdown passes against Lametris and the Hawaii defense. Steelman thinking pass, now run, nothing doing, buried.
I think they're pretty content just to let this half run out. You know, when you're down 21-7, the people at home probably want to see Army come out there and chuck the ball around and try to get themselves in the end zone. But when your offense isn't built to do that, the last thing you want to do is create some kind of interception or fumble or get your quarterback hit and you give Hawaii another opportunity to score. Just minimize the damage. It's 21-7. Let's go in. Let's lick our wounds. Get to the grease board. Fix the problems and move on.
Final seconds ticking away here, and that will do it for the first half of play from West Point and Mikey Stadium. 21-7. Rich Ellerson and Army down to Hawaii, his alma mater. He and Trent Steelman plenty to work on. At the half, down by 2 touchdowns. After a break, we'll send you to New York, where Molly Karam and Brian Jones are standing by with the Verizon Halftime Report.
Well, we get along, yeah, we really do, and there's nothing wrong with what I feel for you. I can hang around till the leaves are brown and the summer's
When you're not worried about potential dangers, the world can be a far less threatening place. Take the scary out of life with Travelers Insurance and see the world in a different light.
Jamie, you're having a great year on the track, man. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Nice job on the tour. Hey, you know what we should do the next time we win? Imitate each other's victory celebrations. We should do that. Yeah.
Gear up with great deals at Bass Pro Shops, like Redhead long sleeve jersey crews and Henleys, your choice only $12.94 each. And save $30 on Redhead Bighorn boots. Plus, join the fun this weekend at our U.S. Army Celebration event. Your adventure starts here.
I faced one of the toughest challenges of my life right here. I couldn't swim, but I can still hear my drill instructor today. Don't quit. So I jumped in, apprehensive and scared out of my mind, but I came up a Marine.
Hey, what's going on?
Doing the shipping.
Man, it would be a lot easier if we didn't have to weigh them all.
If those boxes are under 70 pounds, you don't have to weigh them. With these priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service, if it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
No way.
Nope.
No way?
Yeah. No way. Sure.
No way? No way.
Yes way, no way.
Priority mail flat rate box shipping starts at $4.95, only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
You're watching the CBS College Sports Network. This is the Verizon Halftime Report on the CBS College Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Verizon Halftime Report. Thank you for joining us alongside Brian Jones. I'm Molly Karam. Hawaii leads 21-7 at the break. Brian, Hawaii off to a quick start there.
Yeah, quarterback Bryant Moniz, he's no worse for the wear after being knocked out of last week's game versus USC. That passing offense, it's picking up where it left off, over 400 yards passing versus a weak USC defense last week.
Ooh, throwing the Trojans under the bus. A full slate of games on tap. Let's get you out to some SEC action, where number 24 South Carolina is hosting number 22 Georgia. SEC showdown
In the cockpit, Molly.
Gamecocks come out establishing the run. Brian, how about this guy, true freshman Marcus Lattimore? Look at him go.
I like him a lot. I mean, 20 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns already.
He's pushing the pile. Later in the drive, they let him finish it off. 2-yard plunge. He carried the ball 10 times for 50 yards in the opening drive. Gamecocks up 7-3. Florida, they're getting pumped up at the Swamp for their in-state rivals. Let's give the Big East some love, too. First possession.
Can we get a snap first?
Oh, God, the issues continue. The growing pains for John Brantley there. He actually hits the umpire with the pass. South Florida's first possession. USF's B.J. Daniels hits Andrew Ketchel in the back of the end zone for a 2-yard score, and the Bulls lead 7-0.
Not shocked. I figured that USF, after going into Tallahassee last season, knocking off Florida State, and I know that's not give Florida fits, and so far they're doing that. And the USF defense, let's tip their hat to them. Right now, they're keeping Florida off the board.
Definitely extra motivation for the Big East to beat the SEC
you keep
there.
throwing that Big East in there. What's up with that?
After the break, we'll check out another WAC team, Idaho, who's visiting the 6th-ranked Cornhuskers. Stay with us, and I'll let you know about that Big East love also.
Hook 'em.
In the next 60 seconds, we want you to qualify to be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Pick up the phone and get ready to start dialing when the number appears on your screen. Call the number on your screen now, and we'll mail you a key. If your key opens the lock in your local Direct Buy Club, you'll be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Operators are standing by, so call right now. Direct Buy Club has already awarded over $1 million, and someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you? If the phone number is blinking, the phone lines are now open. Call now to receive your key and an invitation to your local Direct Buy Club, where members can save thousands or more paying low direct from the source prices on big ticket items like kitchen cabinets, home furnishings, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and so much more. Call now and get your key to winning a $50,000 home makeover. Someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you?
What's your 2:30 feeling like?
Well, it's like my brain just stops working. Feel fuzzy, groggy.
I can barely keep my eyes open.
So what do you do?
I used to get another coffee.
Yeah, coffee or soda.
Then another coffee.
I switched to 5-Hour Energy.
Just one 5-hour energy.
The rest of the day, I'm great. 0 sugar, only 4 calories.
I don't feel jittery. I'm in control. It's me. Just a better, more awake me.
Gotta try 5-Hour Energy.
5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now. No 2:30 feeling later.
There are so many things that we take for granted in our lives, but one thing that we should never take for granted are the brave men and women of our volunteered armed forces. Some of these brave warriors have suffered catastrophic injuries. Many are missing limbs or have been badly burned. The Wounded Warrior Project was created to help and support those who are returning home from combat with catastrophic injuries. To learn more, call 877-832-6997.
It's tough out here. The days are long.
The nights get lonely.
But we have a job to do.
We have responsibilities.
We have a commitment to our country,
To our families, our wives,
And husbands.
our children,
our grandchildren,
and to each other
The USO is a bond
that we share
to help us stay close
here at home
and far away.
The USO is always there.
because we need them.
They need us.
And we need you.
This is how America supports our troops. The USO depends on the generosity of the American people. People just like you. To find out more about how you can help, visit our website at uso.org.
The USO.
Until everyone
comes home.
We're at the break between Hawaii and Army. Hawaii jumping out to an early lead. We'll get you back out to West Point in just a minute. Welcome back into the Verizon Halftime Report. Another WAC team in action. Idaho is visiting the Cornhuskers. Let's head out to Lincoln, Nebraska. Bo Pelini hoping his Cornhuskers will get past the Vandals easily today, Brian. In the second, Nebraska up 3. Taylor Martinez.
Uh-oh, there goes that man again.
Fake handoff there. He keeps it, and he'll take it 67 yards for the touchdown. Cornhuskers lead 10-0.
T-Magic, that's what they call him. He is electric.
Not a bad nickname. The Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech traveling to
Wait,
Lawrence,
they still have fans as a kid? Fans
Scoreless
fans.
early. This is what Georgia Tech does. QB Josh Nesbitt on the option, 9 yards out.
Some offense is going to show up today for Jayhawks. That's
Now
what they
it
need.
is 7-7. That's Jordan Webb for Tim Barry back in the end zone. 2 straight scores for KU. All right, Wisconsin's John Kite takes it outside for the yard score. That is Scott Tolzien. He hits Lance Kendricks, who can walk into the 14-yard touchdown. Badgers up 14-zip. And now we're in Conference USA showdown as Memphis travels to ECU in the first. Memphis down 7. Cannon Smith's pass is intercepted by ECU's Derek Lacknell. He returns it 46 yards for the touchdown. Cannon, such a great name for quarterback, but he shouldn't be throwing picks there.
Yes, Cannon hit the wrong color jersey.
Exactly. Late in the first, ECU up 11. That's Dominique Davis. He finds Dwayne Harris for the score. Pirates lead 21-3.
How about San Jose State? They start the season off versus #1 Alabama. Then they go on the road to play Whiskey. Get that money, San Jose State. That's what they're doing because they're not getting any victories.
It always comes down to the dollars, right? Plenty more to come in this edition on our College Football Saturday here on CBS. On the other side of the break, we'll get you back out to West Point in the start of the second half. Keep it here.
Waiting, hoping. That's not how successful investing is done. At E-Trade, it's harnessing some of the most powerful yet easy-to-use trading tools on the planet to help diversify, identify opportunities, take action. It's using professional-grade research and your brain to seek maximum returns, to reach your goals. It's investing with intelligence and cold, hard conviction. You made the money. You should have everything you need to invest it. E-Trade. Investing unleashed.
Let's throw down some style. Style that lasts a lifetime. What do you say we get the look we want, the soft feel we need, and have it stand up to anything we throw at it? Then let's get it installed and save money on the whole project. We're lowering the cost of going barefoot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get exclusive Martha Stewart Living and Platinum Plus installed in your whole house for just $37.
At Polaris, we designed a trail-dominating legend, the Sportsman XP, to lead a new team of smooth-riding trail runners. We made a versatile, powerful, mid-size Ranger, launching a new group of value-minded workhorses. And we made the ultimate hunting vehicle, the Ranger XP, even better, heading up a new team of hard-working hunting machines. From a #1 maker of ATVs and side-by-sides, Polaris, hardest working, smoothest riding.
I just got this buck double off the BK value menu. It's flame broiled and it's only $1. It was a smart move, so I can be dumb.
Need a flashlight?
It's okay. The lightning helps me see.
Offset your stupid with the Buck Double. Just $1 from Burger King.
My dentist says brushing alone isn't enough to avoid dental problems.
Act Total Care mouthwash rebuilds enamel and kills bad breath germs.
To help avoid dental problems, act daily.
And try New Act, featuring SpongeBob SquarePants for 40% less cavities.
They gave me a great opportunity. I've learned a lot and I've had a blast.
I worked on a PhD-level research project that will ultimately save lives.
I served as a public diplomat teaching English in the Congo. It was awesome. I improved water quality and sanitation for villagers in Honduras.
I worked on a bionic foot for amputees at Walter Reed Medical Center.
I had an amazing experience in Nicaragua that you can't get in a classroom. I'm a leader.
I'm making a difference.
I'm a cadet at West Point.
When I compare what I have lost with what I have gained,
Breaks a tackle, has a first down, and much more for the Black Knights.
what I have missed with what attained, little room do I find for pride. But who shall dare to measure loss and gain in this wise? Defeat may be victory in disguise. The lowest ebb is the turn of the tide. The CBS College Sports Network is the proud home of Army football.
Welcome back to West Point, everyone, as our Verizon halftime report continues. We are honored to be joined by the new superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General David Huntoon, who was named the 58th superintendent here at West Point in July. Sir, it's a pleasure to be joined by you. Thanks so much for your time. You were named superintendent in July. I know you graduated from West Point, a very good fencer, All-American in your day. Back in 1973, you graduated. What's it been like for you to return now to lead the post?
Well, it's very exciting to come back here. A lot of change at West Point, improvements in infrastructure, very talented United States Corps of Cadets. So it's a great privilege to return and work to develop leaders of character for the nation.
Princeton Academic Review, U.S. News and World Report, Forbes Report, so good academically, top rank Army has been over the years at West Point. Why has this academy had so much success academically?
Well, we have a fantastic world-class staff and faculty, but this is a unique place. So many of those youngsters come to us fresh out of theater. So they've got academic credentials, but they are also role models for leadership.
Kevin Anderson, your athletic director, is leaving. And congratulations to him, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
As he moves on to Maryland. What does this mean for Army athletics?
Well, the first thing is we want to say thanks to Kevin. For 5.5 years, he's been a tremendous leader here for all our Army sports programs. We wish him well at Maryland. We're beginning to take a look at next athletic director. We've got a very structured process to do that, and we're convinced we're going to get the right person for West Point.
Now, your son, Stuart, is a cadet here at the academy. What is that like to interact with your son while you're the superintendent?
Well, it's wonderful. Stuart's a senior here at West Point. He's doing just fine, and the truth is he kind of gives me an opportunity to get a sense of what it's like from the informal approach to West Point.
All right. Prediction, second half, Army is down to Hawaii by a couple of touchdowns. How do you see the second half unfolding?
Well, this is the 121st season of winning Army football, so I think we're going to do just great.
Thanks so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Dave.
Great to see the brand new superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General David Huntoon. It's halftime here at West Point.
This has been the Verizon Halftime Report on the CBS College Sports Network.
It's 2010. What happened to cloning ourselves? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can copy real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't you have more use?
I have the foundation that I need. I mean, they had the bad one that made my skin break out, but I am not buying that.
Oh. We don't know how it would work. But we do know things can be cloned. I'm looking at you, scientists.
We could really go for some shrimp. Who's cooking shrimp tonight? All for about $10.
Bon voyage. No other place can touch Golden Corral's oceans of shrimp. It's all part of our endless dinner buffet, all for around $10. Only at Golden Corral.
I'm Bob Vila. To me, a room is more than a place to live. It's an expression of who you are. And nothing makes a room stand out like Bellawood hardwood floors. Bellawood floors are 100% solid wood. They're pre-finished and come in over 120 choices.
I saw the Australian cypress and I knew this is it.
Bellawood's finish is 3 times more durable than other brands, and it's backed by a 50-year warranty.
My installer said this is the best wood flooring he's ever used.
Call or click now for a free Bellawood catalog. Bellawood. Now on sale at
Lumber Liquidators.
Grew up in a small town.
This is what evil looks like up close. It's The Nazis, a warning from history on DVD. The shocking filmed record of a world gone mad. From deep within secret German archives comes footage so unnerving, it still can't be shown on television. If you believe we can learn from the past, this is one collection you absolutely must own. Get it now on 4 DVDs for just $59.99. But wait, call with your credit card and you'll pay only $39.99. It's so important you see this. We'll pay your shipping. That's an additional savings of nearly $7. Look into the face of evil. Try not to blink. Call now to get The Nazis, a warning from history on 4 DVDs for just $39.99. We'll ship it for free.
Call 1-800-215-0715 to order Nazis, a warning from history for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card or order online at timelife.com/Nazi.
What do you think makes great radio?
Preparation. The full package has to be right.
A combination of entertainment, humor, information.
You really have to have a very well-rounded show where you have to hit all of these different elements. It's really kind of a complicated thing.
So what do you think makes great radio?
Me.
This is Football on the CBS College Sports Network is proudly supported by Scion. Built by Scion, but made by you. Scion, what moves you? By Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories. And by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Beautiful look. Hudson River. United States Military Academy. Now, some of those mascots, they are mascots of their company within the United States Military Academy. They are the guy in green and the banana and the...
So it's not. So what you're telling me is it's not a secondary mascot?
They are plebes. Freshmen, they've got to do that. Highlights, first half. Jason, let's break it down. All Hawaii to start as Bryant Moniz, very comfortable, picked apart the Army defense.
All Hawaii, really all Bryant Moniz. When you think about it, the throws he made in between the coverage of the Army defense, the mobility he showed in these, obviously making the defender miss there, but the mobility he showed in the pocket to escape the rush, and just more importantly, running this offense, just getting themselves in a position. But what I will say, though, is at the end of that second quarter, Army really turned it on, offensively and defensively. It doesn't look like on that stat board. When you look at it, obviously, Army should win the rushing yards, and it should have been maybe 150 yards. They're not going to win this football game rushing for 83 yards a half. 150 will get it. The other thing that's really shocking there is this time of possession. I mean, you wouldn't think that Army would win the time of possession battle by over 3 minutes. But when you don't have the ball or you can't get first downs, that's what happens. But I think what we saw there at the end in the second quarter with the way Army's defense played Hawaii and stopping them his last couple of times, and then offensively moving down the field and scoring, it's hopefully for Army's sake, it's a better indication of what's going to happen here in the second half. And for Hawaii, you know, I'm sure they went to the grease board to try to figure some things out as well.
For Greg McMacken, head coach at Hawaii, guy on the left there in the headset. Scott Enos will kick off. Army to receive the second half boot. Malcolm Brown, Brian Cobbs, RD. Gonna be Brown at his 1. Malcolm, who scored a touchdown in the first half, running, breaks a tackle across the 30-yard line. Nice run back, Malcolm Brown to the 32. Let's go back down to our cadet reporter, Andy Nicholas. What do you think has to happen here, Andy, in the second half for Army?
Well, in the second half, look for the core of cadets to start responding to the big plays by Army as they really motivate the team here down on the field.
Bridget Torres on the tackle.
Andy, it's so important that the core in its new position across the field from the Army bench really get some momentum and energy going for the home team.
You know, it's that chicken and the egg, which comes first. Like, do they get excited before a big play, or they need a big play to get excited? So hopefully this kind of stuff right here will get them going.
Good start. David Brooks brings in the pass from Steelman to the 45-yard line. Pick up a 13th first down for Army. Nice sprint right pass play. As we talked about yesterday, Jason, with Ian Shields, offensive coordinator, Army, they like to move the pocket because the offensive line not as big as a standard Division I team.
No, they're not going to do any 5 or 7-step drop backs. They're going to usually get Trent Steelman on the edge. And Trent even said it's much more difficult to throw on the run. You know, it's harder for me. I was a drop back quarterback in high school, so he's got to adjust to that as well. Get his feet set and make sure that he can deliver the ball on target.
Bowling Green, Kentucky, was a star in that state, threw 55 touchdown passes in his high school career. This is a different offense led by Jared Hassan. The big B-back rumbles across midfield to the 48-yard line. Pai Fale-Malu makes the tackle. Difference makers. Jason, let's update our fans on what's happening.
You know, we talked about this early in the game, and so far they haven't got on track offensively. They've not been able to get Hassan there. That was a nice run, but offensively in the first half they were not able to get him on track in the middle. Patrick Mealy didn't have anything going on the outside. On the defensive side, they didn't really have to do anything because their front three have controlled the line of scrimmage up until that last drive that Army had. The defensive line for Hawaii has done a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage and just bottling everything up.
Steelman is throwing. Fires. Complete. Patrick Mealy brings it in. Nice catch right in front of the Hawaii bench to the 39 of the Warriors. Pickup of 11, first down.
And a nice play selection here, too, because you take Patrick Mealy from the backfield, you swing him outside wide, get the defense thinking that's a little something in the middle. You know, when you bring when you bring running backs from the backfield into the pass routes, a lot of times it's the responsibility lies in the linebackers, and their eyes are in the backfield trying to stop the run, not cover running backs going out for passes down the sideline.
One catch, 19 yards for Mealy last week on a wheel route type play. Hassan carries, and Jared Hassan again keeps on trucking inside the 35 of the 34. There is a flag down. Armed Forces football proudly supported by Golden Corral.
Offsides, defense, number 90, 5 yards from the previous spot, still second down.
Elliot Purcell, senior from Eva Beach, Hawaii, is the guilty party for the Warriors there. So 1st and 5 here now for Army from the 34 of Hawaii. Such an important drive here, Jason, to begin the second half for the Cadets.
Huge morale booster because they've gone into halftime. They've already seen they can be successful. They've obviously talked about what they didn't do right, what they need to do in the second half. And to come out here in this first drive and start producing and moving the chains and getting their offense on track and getting positive momentum for their offense. And more importantly, collecting first downs like that.
It's a really nice carry on first down.
You know, if they can get this game back into a manageable score like a 21-14, it gives this whole team and the core hope because, you know, they know that their defense can go out there and stop Hawaii's offense because they've proven that the last couple series of the first half.
Gain of 7 there. Tackled by Kavika Ornelas, the senior from Oahu. Most of the players are from the island of Oahu. Some from Maui. Brown in motion. Hassan the carry, nothing doing, stopped right away. He was smacked there by Montesilva. A free safety.
That's one of the frustrating things about this offense sometimes watching it is, you know, they do keep running the ball inside, and I talked to Coach Rich Ellerson about that, and I said, sometimes, why do you just keep running the ball inside if nothing's there? He said, for the simple fact that it keeps the defense honest. We've got to show it consistently so that they always keep their linebackers in the middle of the field to stop that. If we don't, then they start just cheating to the outside.
Silva, one of the top players in the WAC last year, had 6 interceptions. Steelman on the pitch. Comes near side. It's Mealy. Tiptoes the sideline. Where did he step out of bounds is the question. He's marked at the 18. Spencer Smith for Hawaii is down and hurt. Warrior trainers will come over to take a look at Spencer Smith, the senior from just outside Atlanta. Gain of 8. Just underway second half, Army. Good looking first drive. Things not looking good though for Hawaii defensive back Spencer Smith.
I'm the 4th-string quarterback. But due to a pregame meal of all-you-can-eat calamari, now I'm the 1st-string quarterback. But I'm also a transfer student, so I'm a little lost. And if you've got cut rate insurance, your jacked up rates might make you sick. So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Let's throw down some style. Style that lasts a lifetime. What do you say we get the look we want, the soft feel we need, and have it stand up to anything we throw at it? Then let's get it installed and save money on the whole project. We're lowering the cost of going barefoot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get exclusive Martha Stewart Living and Platinum Plus installed in your whole house for just $37.
Next Saturday on the CBS College Sports Network, Kellen Moore leads third-ranked Boise State and its national championship dreams into War Memorial Stadium to take on Wyoming. It's Boise State versus Wyoming next Saturday at 8.
21-10.
Welcome back here at West Point. Just underway in the second half, 21-7 game. Spencer Smith, Jason, still being looked at. And as you know from being the defensive back in the NFL and in college ball at USC, this could be a big loss for them. Smith, the senior, had an interception against Washington State last year. Career high 12 tackles against Idaho. Here's another look at what happened to Smith.
Just gets chopped down. It's just, you know, as a defensive back, you know, when you're out there running, your vision is on the running back. And a lot of times the receiver comes up to block you. And they don't always block you up high because they don't have to. They come down and chop down at your knees like that.
Looked like on the replay that he jammed his right wrist hand, and it looked pretty serious. And anytime you see the pump out, that's a mobile cast. This could be a very bad injury for Spencer Smith, possibly. Had 7 tackles in the season opening loss to USC in Honolulu last week, and he's going to be up. As you can see, the right arm is being immobilized, and that's not good.
No.
Never is. So they'll lose Smith. Richard Torres, the junior from Oahu, is the backup.
You'll see right here on the left side of the screen, right there.
Watch him fall.
Just the...
Right there, that was the last time.
Yeah,
Yep, that was it. That was it. He got up and then tried to get involved in the play again, and that's where he fell awkwardly on that right arm and wrist. So Smith out. Torres, a former walk-on, and the junior, whose dad is the head coach at Kahuku High School, won back-to-back state titles, will replace him. Richard, an all-state performer as a senior in high school. There's some great high school football in the islands. Very competitive, and you see some great athletes all over the country, in the mainland and in Hawaii, playing college ball.
Do have some talent over there. And they do a great job of keeping their homegrown talent. We were talking to Coach McMacken about that, about, you know, the homegrown talent, is it difficult to keep? He said, yeah, I mean, there's some schools that come over there, try to poach them away from us, but we feel like we've got a pretty good reputation with our kids and able to keep them homegrown and in-state.
Jason, busy day in the CBS College Sports Network. We have Army here head-to-head with Hawaii, 21-7. Cadets are driving after that. We're off to Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium to see Ricky Dobbs push for the Heisman Trophy. Can he win it? So they'll go head-to-head with Georgia Southern. Then the 7:30 Eastern game. Tell you more about that in a moment. Mike Leach makes his debut on our air. NC State UCF from Orlando. Here on the CBS College Sports Network, our first triple header of the season. Can't wait to hear what Mike Leach has got to say on a regular basis. Should be very interesting. Wolfpack Knights tonight.
That'll be fun to listen to Coach Leach.
You're going to want to watch for Russell Wilson, great quarterback, Jason, of NC State, 400 total yards last week in their season opener.
It's not a bad way to start the season. And coach speak, there's nothing better than coach speak.
First down, Army. Brown in motion. Hassan to carry. Jared Hassan rumbles in. Touchdown, Army. First of the day, fourth of the year for Hassan the Assassin. 16 yards out. Carlton the PAT. Cannons firing from across Lusk Reservoir and here inside Mikey Stadium. And how about Army? At one point, dominated by Hawaii. Right now, thanks to Hassan, back in the game.
2 beefy flame-broiled patties with melted cheese. We call it the Buck Double. How much does it cost? Take a wild guess, cowboy. The quarter-pound Buck Double, just $1, only at Burger King.
Honesty. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
To the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, the USO delivers the joys and comforts of home, even out here. Find out how you can help at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Jared Hassan has been a savior here at Army. Since the transfer from Air Force, they've waited for him to become eligible. Had to sit out last year after the transfer from Colorado Springs. Has a touchdown here, has 4 on the season. Another look at that run.
You know, it starts here with Malcolm Brown on the outside. Just a little misdirection. They're going to run him across. The defense honors that, and Hassan just comes off the left-hand side. See the linebackers, they start to kind of flow towards Malcolm Brown, leaves the hole open, Hassan hits it perfectly. Just misdirection. You have to do things to get the eyes of the defense to think counterproductively. You can't allow them just to play quickly. You've got to do something to force them to make mistakes, to think more.
Campbell kicking off. Sampson, the deep man, taking mine up, back ball's on the ground. It's loose. Who's got it? Sampson, a late dive. Army thinks it has it. Let's get an indication. Black Knight football.
That'll get the core up. You know, you see those pop kicks a lot from the kickers, and what they do is a lot of times they put a guy in position who doesn't normally get the ball. I mean, your up backs are usually blockers. You know, their fullbacks but they're not your skill position guys, so they're not used to carrying it or catching it. So you put them in a position like that, and this is what can happen.
Brian Cobbs jumps on the ball for Army on special teams. Huge play, fumble recovery, and now the Cadets have the ball on a short field from the 24. Only down by 7. Trent Steelman of the offense right back on the field. Far hash in front of the core, their new seating location. Handoff Brown. Malcolm trying to turn the corner, using a good speed. Down to the 16-yard line, gain of 9. Richard Torres, who's in for the injured Spencer Smith, makes the tackle for Hawaii.
And these plays start off, these plays are successful because of the ability of the other slot back, Patrick Mealy, to get upfield and put the block on the linebackers coming around the edge. Their ability to get the linebackers on the ground, not just block, but on the ground, is what opens up these huge holes on the outside.
Hawaii trainers Jason saying Spencer Smith has a sprained elbow, doubtful to return. I'd be shocked if he comes back. Second and short. Steelman keeps. First down.
I'm shocked he's only sprained.
For now. That's the initial diagnosis. Down to the 9-yard line. It'll be first and goal here for Army. It seems like a long time ago Hawaii had a big lead in this game of 21-0, and Bryant Moniz was picking apart the Army defense.
It's safe to say whatever they did at halftime, or actually whatever they did right there in the second quarter, that last drive for Army, has carried over here in the second half.
Pai Fale-Malu, fourth tackle a moment ago for Hawaii. Still first and goal here for the Black Knights. Brown in motion, passing the carry, and Jared is tripped up. Good play defensively again by Aaron Brown, first to get to him.
This is always where it gets a little bit difficult, that 7 to 9 yard range, because they don't really throw that much, so that's not a huge option for them. And the field condenses, so the 11 defenders, or the 9 in the box, can really condense on the line of scrimmage and bottle this thing up to where there aren't quite as many holes or gaps to run through.
If you're thinking pass, there's no player on the current Army roster that has a touchdown catch in his career. Not one. So it's a run. Steelman, bottle up. Short gain, just shy of 5. Correa makes the tackle. Malu involved as well.
We were talking about that earlier, all these firsts in quite some time. So it'll be somebody else's first. This Rich Ellison era is going to see a lot of firsts in quite some time. Done a good job of really turning this program around here in about a year and a half time.
Rich Ellison, who's now handling the signals, the quarterback, Trent Steelman, new this year. Halfway out to the huddle to make sure the quarterback has the right call. This is big. Third down and goal here for Army. And Steelman doesn't like what he sees from the Hawaii defense and wisely calls a timeout. Got to avoid the delay of game penalty there.
Yeah, you don't want to create a longer field for yourself.
Big possession continues for Army.
And now I'll turn it over to the Gecko.
Ah, thank you, sir. As we all know, Geico has been saving people money on RV, camper and trailer insurance, as well as motorcycle insurance. Ah, sorry. Technical difficulties.
What about this?
What's this one do? Maybe that one.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We run motorcycle insurance?
Take 15 minutes to see how much you could save on motorcycle, RV, and camper insurance.
Jamie, you're having a great year on the track, man.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Nice job on the tour.
Hey, you know what we should do the next time we win? Imitate each other's victory celebrations.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Gear up with great deals at Bass Pro Shops, like Redhead long sleeve jersey crews and Henleys, your choice only $12.94 each. And save $30 on Redhead Bighorn boots. Plus, join the fun this weekend at our U.S. Army Celebration event. Your adventure starts here.
To help avoid dental problems, my dentist gives me Act Restoring mouthwash.
Act kills germs, restores minerals, strengthens enamel. Act Restoring. For strong teeth, act now.
And try New Act, featuring SpongeBob SquarePants for 40% less cavities.
Today's Red Zone being brought to you by Verizon. 21-14 game. Second ever head-to-head meeting between Army and Hawaii. First ever at Mikey Stadium. Last time, 2003, they met. Hawaii rolled the Black Knights 59-23. Set a school record for offense, Jason, 741. Timmy Chang went wild with almost 400 yards passing.
It's half a mile.
That's right. Different story here today. Off a timeout, big play. Army. Steelman keeps. Steelman didn't get there. Tracked down along the sideline. Aaron Brown. Great play defensively. Fourth and goal coming up. Field goal.
And I think Coach Ellison's hands are tied a little bit. He sees Steelman, he's a little dinged right now. Something's wrong with his shoulder, looks like. So the last thing you want to do is put your quarterback out there in a big fourth down situation if he's not completely, capable of running the offense. Give him a breather.
Alex Carlton will come in on a 19-yard chip shot try. Was 1 of 2 last week against Eastern Michigan. We got a flag here.
12
It's
on
going to
the
be
field.
against Hawaii because they had 12 men on the field. One
And
of the players tried to exit by the goalpost on the back of the end zone, hoping the officials wouldn't see it.
You can't do that. You got to go off the side.
So hang on a minute. This is going to go halfway to the goal line. And Trent Steelman of the offense thinking about trying the 4th and goal now.
Illegal substitution against the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Oh boy, it changes everything here.
Absolutely, and now your quarterback's not quite as dinked. Right there, he's trying to go, but you can't run out the back of the end zone. You got to run to your sideline. That's the key there. If he'd have taken off running, they weren't in any hurry to get the ball snapped. He probably could have made it if he just hauled toward the sideline.
So the offense back out. It is 4th and goal here. Army 1 for 1 on 4th down try. 4th and short. Movement on the front. But no flag. Now timeout for Trent Steelman. Lots of adjustments going on, and now only one play stoppage left for Army. Timeout will take one as well. Don't go away. Exciting 4th and goal coming up for Coach Ellerson and the Cadets.
Well, we get along, yeah, we really do. And there's nothing wrong with what I feel for you. Hang around till the leaves are brown and the summer's gone.
When you're not worried about potential dangers, the world can be a far less threatening place. Take the scary out of life with Travelers Insurance and see the world in a different light.
Many will hear the calling.
Move it! Yes, sir!
Few will earn the title United States Marine. The few, the proud Marines.
2 beefy flame-broiled patties with melted cheese. We call it the Buck Double. How much does it cost? Take a wild guess, cowboy. The quarter-pound Buck Double, just $1, only at Burger King.
What a big play here for Army's offense. 4th and goal off the second timeout used by Army in the second half. Brown starts in motion, sets up again, slot back. Now he moves. Malcolm Brown, the carry. Malcolm Brown, touchdown, Army!
Another precision strike by Army, supported by
Well, it definitely makes the timeout worth it.
Now Carlton out there, but whistles and flags first. And we'll try this PAT again, as Army hopes to tie the game against Hawaii from the WAC. The Warriors jumped out to a 21-0 lead in this game and appeared it'd be easy for them, but what a comeback for Army.
You know, it's a
illegal substitution against the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
We've heard that before, Jason.
Yeah, it's a complete turn of events when you look at the first half where a lot of things were going against Army and for Hawaii, and now all of a sudden here in the second half, it's just flipped. You know, Hawaii's the one that they're making the mistakes. They're doing the things that are uncharacteristic. You know, 12 guys in the field, illegal substitutions. I mean, these are things that the fumble on the kickoff, you've gone from, 21 up to now you had the opportunity for a field goal attempt to a touchdown, and now, a tie game by mistakes.
Carlton will try this one again. Hit all 4 of his PATs against Eastern Michigan last week. As never missed a PAT in his Army career. There might be some concern on the Army sideline about Steelman's shoulder. He did get hit pretty hard in that drive. 21-21 game from West Point. Malcolm Brown, heading into this one, had not scored a touchdown in his career. 2 for him today. Trent Steelman and the Army offense, thanks to the miscue on Hawaii's special teams, get a second chance at it and score again.
And just right now, doing a very, very good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, getting themselves to the edge of the defense. Hawaii is so content on bottling it up in the middle of the football field, and now Army's starting to take advantage of getting their speedsters to the outside. When you're on the 2-yard line, you don't have far to go. You can get when it's speed on speed, you create those angles for the running back to get himself towards the end zone. They know the wide receivers do such a good job of blocking and getting the defenders on the ground. Give Army some credit. They win at halftime. They dialed this thing in. Now let's see what they've done defensively. That their defense can continue to do what they were doing as far as bringing the pressure and creating discomfort in the pocket for Moniz. And if this Hawaii offense has gone in at halftime to try to figure out a way to block that and give their quarterback a little bit more time.
Coach McMacken telling us this week there is pressure for him in the Islands, coming off the 2007 season when Hawaii went 12-0, won the WAC, got to a BCS bowl game. Colt Brennan's Heisman bid, a tremendous season for him. A lot of folks on the Islands impatient. Year 1 he made a bowl. He did not last year. Team finished 6th and 7th. The Hawaii exemption allows Hawaii and all opponents to play 13 games because of their travel. So Campbell set to kick off here. And what a comeback by Army. Ball blows off the tee. Not much breeze here, Jason, but apparently enough to
just enough
send it off.
Those kickers, they like to put that thing in the most precarious position possible to get it as upright as they can. Doesn't take much wind to knock it off.
We'll see if we have another directional kick for Matt Campbell. Last one really paid off. Fumbled by Hawaii. Short kick again. Taken there, Demude. Chizi Demude hit by Steven Anderson near midfield. Flag is down. Going to cost the Warriors some yardage. Now let's go to our New York studios where Molly Karam has an update.
Molly Karam here in the New York studios. Quick update on the Gators-Bulls game. That is John Brantley with the 11-yard touchdown pass to Carl Moore. He struggled early but gets them going. The score is 7-7. Third quarter just underway.
Molly, thanks. Good game there. Great game here at West Point. Home opener for the Black Knights. They have rallied to score 3 straight touchdowns against Bryant Moniz, star quarterback for Hawaii, back on the field now, and tied this game. Great crowd, great afternoon of college football from West Point. Moniz from the pistol formation. Pros brought in Bradley. And a completion. Nope, now it says out of bounds. That's what the officials say, that he could not keep his feet in. Incomplete pass.
Brian Moni's pass is incomplete.
The scoring differential by quarters is pretty key, because I remember last year continuously asking the coaches if it was conditioning or what it was, and he said, you know what, we really have to take some of the blame because we weren't as proactive as changing our offense and defense at halftime as the other team was in trying to figure out what we were doing. So you see that. I mean, they actually, led games. They were up by 7 in the first half of, the entire season and down by 60. So he just said it was on the coaching staff to come up with better game plans at halftime to adjust.
Second down, Moniz, pressure, McNair, he's got him, ball's loose, ball on the ground, picked up by Marcus Hilton, Army's ball. The defense comes through.
You know what, Dave? It's all about the pressure. We were talking to Payam and to Chris, the defensive coordinators for Army, and they said if we can get pressure on this quarterback, we're going to win this football game, because if he can't sit in the pocket and pick us apart back in the secondary, we'll win. And if our defensive backs give a pass and it was longer than 3 seconds, we blame the D-line. And right now, that defensive line is controlling this line of scrimmage, getting to the quarterback. Huge play.
Third sack for the all-time sack leader in Army history, Josh McNary. Handoff. Brown again, who's had 2 touchdowns already. Looks to turn the corner. Dives for the pylon, but he's out of bounds. Marked out of bounds at the 3.
A little quick with the cannon.
It'll be second down. Yeah, they're still going off across Lusk Reservoir. Gotta be. Once you start the sequence, I guess you can't stop it.
That's hilarious.
And want to tell those folks that he didn't score yet. Reload, reload.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
And that pylon, 18 inches high, folks, is out of bounds. So you got to be inside.
Yeah, you see his
that
left
ball's
foot right there.
That ball's got to break the plane of the goal line, not including the pylon, to be in. Second down. Steelman lunging toward the goal line. Is stopped shy, runs into a wall of white jerseys. Mea Tunga. Kamalu Umu up front, helping on defense against Steelman, and Trent's hurt. Pointing to the shoulder. Max Jenkins is listed, folks, as the backup at Army. He has never played a down in his career. And here he comes. He's got the helmet, it's on. He'll be coming into the game here. He's got to play at least 1 down with Trent leaving thanks to the trainer's help. That's a rule. It is 1st and goal, and here comes Jenkins' first ever play at Army. How about this, Jason?
On the 1-yard line. Well, it's safe to say they'll be running the football in.
Steelman hurt. We'll get a report as soon as possible. 1st and goal. Jenkins on his first snap. Lunging. Goal line. Touchdown, Army!
Not a bad way to get your first carry.
How about that? Cadets' first lead of the day. The junior from Houston. First ever carry, first ever snap. There goes the cannon. Carlton's got another PAT and 4 straight touchdowns for Army. 28 straight points. The new quarterback. What a start for him. It's all about the A here, Army. Touchdown, Jenkins.
What's your 2:30 feeling like?
Well, it's like my brain just stops working.
Feel fuzzy, groggy.
I can barely keep my eyes open.
So what do?
I used to get another coffee.
Yeah, coffee or soda.
Then another coffee.
I switched to 5-hour energy.
Just 1 5-hour energy.
The rest of the day, I'm great.
0 sugar, only 4 calories.
I don't feel jittery. I'm in control.
It's me. Just a better, more awake me.
Gotta try 5-hour energy.
5-hour energy. Hours of energy now. No 2:30 feeling later.
There's Trent Steelman being looked at by Army trainers. Remember last year he was injured against Eastern Michigan in the opener, Jason, rib injury. And he told us yesterday when we met with Trent that he was really dinged up all year long. He never recovered fully from that. He had some off-season surgery, arthroscopic knee surgery, went home to Kentucky to rehab. And after rejoining his teammates for fall camp, said he really feels as good as he ever has physically.
Oh, when we saw him, he was a good 15, 20 pounds heavier. I mean, he had definitely put on some bulk, some muscle. He kept pointing to his shoulder or arm or something. Whatever it is, it was enough to take him out.
Get a report as soon as possible from Andy Nicholas, our cadet reporter today. Campbell, squib kick, going low again with it. Taken again by a Hawaii up back, this time not fumbled. It's out to the 35-yard line. We talked about scoring by quarter, how it was such a huge struggle last year. Second half abysmal for Army overall. Not the case today.
No, you know, when you look at it, it's what they talked about, kind of concentrated on a little bit, is that halftime adjustment. Not if they were up, being proactive and not standing pat with what they were doing in the first half and coming out with some new game plans in the second half, because they knew that the other team was at the grease board trying to figure out what they were doing. They didn't feel like they did a good job of that last year. This year, clearly a difference.
All right, Moniz and the offense back on the field. Last time they fumbled. Green carries on first down, out screen, rumbling, second level and beyond, big run. Hawaii, he's into Army territory to the 48, gave him 17 yards before Travis tracks him down.
And that's going to slow down that pass rush. If you can get yourself some room running the football, if you can go ahead and get your running back on track, you can create some, or you can slow down that pass rush. That's a huge hole because right now everybody's focused on getting to the quarterback.
Kingsley A, he missed that tackle. And keep in mind, he was a running back. He was the B-back last year, and he's seen a lot of action. He's the micro middle linebacker here in this game.
Yeah, he's been spelling Stephen Anderson every other series.
He's handing off to Green again. Navigates, tries to run right, slammed down. He was involved in the tackle. Here comes a flag late. That could be a face mask. And if so, it's going to cost Army 15 yards. Green lost the helmet.
Personal foul, face mask, 27 of the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Oh boy, that is Kingsley Ahee, the brand new linebacker, making the change from the B-back spot, penalty.
Yeah, you can see, you know, when you're new at those angles, as you start to come across and they cut back on you, you got to be careful what you reach for there.
He took his helmet off. That's beyond face mask.
He grabbed both sides of the helmet.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
No face mask.
Definitely a personal foul. We're going to have to redefine that as penalty. Removing player's helmet, 15-yard, personal foul. Trent Steelman injury report, folks. Right now, Army's saying upper body injury, not specific about his return at the moment. First down throw, over the middle, complete. Polaris has got it. Rumbling, open field, looks for the end zone, and he danced out of bounds. At the 4-yard line, it'll be first and goal here for Hawaii. Kealoha Polaris making it look easy for the Warriors.
This is pretty simple here for Hawaii. They're just going to get Polaris running. Trips left, just put him in the middle of the field. You see the rub route right there. What they do is they just try to rub the inside guy off of the outside receiver, or I'm sorry, the middle receiver off the inside receiver, and just rub the defenders off, create the separation. That way you don't have to create separation, you know, with your running or your route. You just go ahead and let the defenders run into each other.
Big pickup, first and goal. Moniz, hands off. Green. Second effort, touchdown Hawaii.
Green ahead for 3, touchdown.
From 3 yards out, Warriors can tie it.
And that's big for Hawaii because, you know, they've been sitting there for about the last, 8-9 minutes of this third quarter, waiting for their turn to get out there on the football field, to take the ball and go right down the football field. It's got to be pretty comforting for them to know that whatever they fixed at halftime to slow this pass rush down is working.
Scott Enos in for the PAT. Bangs it through. He had 3 field goals against USC. A couple early in the game, and Brian Moniz told us yesterday we cannot settle for Enos field goals. We've got to score touchdowns, which he has been doing with regularity today. First time Hawaii has scored in this second half to tie it at 28. One time a pizza delivery guy while he was a walk-on at Hawaii. Last summer worked on Waikiki Beach, handing out surfboards to tourists who would stop him constantly and talk football. Now he's on scholarship and he concentrates on playing for the Warriors, and he's doing that very well.
He's delivering passes instead of pizzas.
I like that.
You like that?
Were you working that all week?
You're doing a good job.
That's good stuff.
That's homework, baby.
Club t-shirt, a postcard from a member of their favorite team, and much more.
Played junior college football in California. And actually went head-to-head with Jeremiah Masoli, who is now at Ole Miss. Made a lot of headlines this year. Leaving Oregon, sent packing. Was ineligible, then eligible again, and played last week. And how about Ole Miss losing in the opening game?
Wow. That's what's great about college football. There's so many unknowns, especially early in the season.
Coming up next, Naval Academy, Georgia Southern square off live from Annapolis Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Navy hopes to rebound after that tough loss last week to Maryland when Ricky Dobbs, the quarterback, was stopped at the goal line in the final moments. Malcolm Brown, what a big game he's had across the 20, and he's slammed down there at the 22. Lewis Walker makes the tackle defensively on special teams.
You hear us talk about the triple option an awful lot here, and what you have is you have a quarterback, a slot back, and a fullback, and what they do is they read the defensive end, the linebacker. The defensive end crashes, then the quarterback will give the ball to the slot back. If the defensive end goes out, he'll give it to the fullback. If the linebacker comes to the quarterback, he just simply, pitches it out to the slot back. If they over pursue and get themselves out to the slot back, the quarterback cuts it up inside.
And the quarterback will be Max Jenkins. So Trent Steelman still on the bench, injured. Jenkins 1 for 1, as in 1 carry and a touchdown. First career carry. Handing off here, Jared Hassan. Tracked down right away by George Daly Lyles, a freshman from Long Beach, California. And Jason, I noticed a moment ago, Chip Bowden, who at one time was a starting quarterback here at Army, replaced by Trent Steelman. Last year, when Steelman had that great freshman season, he really was vocal a moment ago with the offensive huddle.
Absolutely. You know, you've got to get your leaders in there. You've got to get people who are the vocal leaders of your football team, whether they're playing or not, to get people motivated. You've got to rally your troops literally around, your new quarterbacks, your new players when they come into a situation like this.
Brown, the motion man, gets it, and it's upended right away. Good tackle by Kamalo Umu, the senior, who started his career at Charleston Southern before a transfer. He's now earned a scholarship, was a walk-on at Hawaii at one time.
Cody Sia on the tackle for Hawaii.
What you have to be careful of as an offense is when you lose your signal caller, that's the stud at the quarterback position, that you don't get deflated, that you all of a sudden think that we can't do this. You got to pick your game up a little bit more. If you were already at a high level, you got to go to a higher level to overcompensate, because let's be honest, Steelman's your leader. He's the guy, he's the starting quarterback for a reason.
Third down, handoff, Hassan nothing doing. To the 26, stopped well shy of the first down. Elliot Purcell, left defensive end for Hawaii, makes the stop. And we talked yesterday with Ian Shields, the Army offensive coordinator, about Max Jenkins. We said, what if Trent gets hurt? And they said, Max knows the offense as well as anyone. A great backup quarterback, like another coach on the field. Now he's playing on the field.
Yeah, he's going to have to put that know the offense into execute the offense. There's one thing to know it. Knowing it's nice on the grease board and understanding, but to go out there and execute on the football field is a completely different thing. And that last series was a little conservative.
Salas deep with Ryan Henry. Greg Salas from the 31. The Bulls punts. He goes down and gets slammed almost immediately.
Salas.
Josh Jones on special teams makes the tackle for Army. There is a flag down.
Josh Jones on the tackle. Flag on the field.
43-yard punt for Bulls if it stands.
Holding against the receiving team. That's a post-scrimmage kick foul. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
It certainly will stand, and back up Hawaii 10 more on the return penalty. The game so far for Josh McNary. He has been everywhere, showing us why he's the all-time sack leader in Army history. Take a look at today's hilarious, razor-sharp performance.
We talk about this game plan. It was to create discomfort for the quarterback in the pocket. It starts with Josh McNary. He's got to get into the backfield. He's got to play on the other line of scrimmage. And what they've done a good job of doing is moving him from side to side. You've seen him play a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right. And just that speed, that upfield pass rushing mobility, and the coach are telling us his responsibility against the run is nil today. It's not on him. His job is to get to the quarterback, force everything inside, and not lose containment.
3 sacks on the day. An Academy record 12.5 sacks last year for McNary. Simoni's back on the field, throwing on first down. Salas brings it in. Breaks one tackle. Nifty play by Greg Salas out to the 33. It'll be a first down for Hawaii, gain of 12. Steven Anderson has his 4th tackle of the day as he forced them out of bounds.
Yesterday getting to sit there and talk with Salas, it was interesting. That's a big kid. That's not your normal receiver. I mean, he's a good 6'3", 6'4". When he's in those pads, that's just a solid-looking receiver.
Candidate for the Bolitnikoff Award, top wide receiver in the nation, All-American candidate as well. One of the top receivers in the nation last year, top 10 in catches per game and yards per catch. Moniz, time, airs it out, incomplete. Bradley, the intended receiver, but well over his head.
Way out of bounds.
Pressure by McNary to help rush that throw a bit.
Good coverage downfield as well.
That's what it takes, right?
Oh, let me tell you something. A secondary's best friend is your defensive ends. The guys that can put the pressure on the quarterback so that you don't have to cover for very long. It'd be like playing tag without being able to touch anybody. So you're out there playing tag and you're trying to mirror this guy, but you can't touch him once he leaves 5 yards.
Josh had 4 sacks in a game against Temple last year, all-time Army record single game. Lots of flags and whistles. Hawaii's offense out of sync. False start will cost them 5 here.
And that right there comes from...
False start against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The pressure that the defensive line for Army has been able to put on them. I mean, they're ready to go. As an offensive line, all of a sudden now you got to get yourself back in your stance because you know this Army defensive front is coming.
10th penalty. 74 yards Hawaii. Penalized 3 times, 25 yards. That was Bryson Jinlak, left guard, guilty party for Hawaii. Anderson showing some pressure here. Second down. Moniz throws quickly. Salas drops it incomplete. Will be Brown on coverage defensively for Army. 3rd and 15 coming up here for the Warriors. Salas knew he should have had that.
Tough pitch and
minute
catch.
left in the quarter.
Tough pitch and catch, you know.
We asked Greg yesterday, anything people don't know about you? He said, I'm a really good singer. Love to sing the Drake songs. Big Drake fan. People don't know that about me. Pretty good receiver too, right?
Yeah, I'll give him the singing. I'll give him the receiver. I'll hold off on the singing.
Gotta hear him first. 3rd down, Hawaii wants to convert. Pass brought in. Bradley again, tripped up right away, good hit. Richard King, the senior from Houston, knocked him down.
And a good job by Army. They're starting to see some of the same patterns over and over again here in the second half, and they're doing a good job of reacting to it. Some of the plays that Army or Hawaii ran in the first half, like that outside in with the trips on the left, Army's recognizing it and making the play instead of giving up a 15, 20-yard gain.
From Australia, Alex Dunaki in the punt. Jackson lets that one roll all the way inside his 10. It'll finally stop at the 6 of Army. Good punt by Alex Dunaki, sophomore for Hawaii. Grew up playing Australian rules football. Following the footsteps of Matt McBriar, 7th-year punter, also out of Hawaii, also from Australia, now with the Dallas Cowboys. He's a big star. 59-yard punt there.
A boot is a boot. If you can put it on a ball, you can play. Well, that's what's interesting about those Australian rules football guys and talking to the coaches for Hawaii. They said there's a lot of kids over there really trying to get themselves over into this game because they've got good legs and they can kick. It's just a matter of can you kick it through the uprights.
All right, final moments of the quarter here. Jason Brown. A little stop and go in motion, sets up as a slot back. Jenkins still in at quarterback. Steelman still injured. Jenkins, first pass attempt of his career. Throws brought in. David Brooks has it. All the way to the 27. Gain of 20. Stop by Jeremy Bryant. Nice start, Jenkins.
Great start for him. You know, we're talking about a kid who hasn't completed a pass, who hasn't rushed or anything. To come into this environment, to come out here, the icebreaker was to get the ball in the 1 and be able to score. That just it alleviates a lot of concerns. And then you get a pass called and complete that first pass. Just gives you all the confidence in the world.
End of 3. Home opener. Mikey Stadium on the CBS College Sports Network. Couldn't ask for a better day of football so far. 4th quarter on the way.
It's 2010. Weren't we supposed to have time machines by now? I mean, if we at Coke Zero can give the world real Coke taste with 0 calories, why can't science give us an unlimited supply of do-overs?
Man, you dance like a man.
I dance like a man?
What? No, wait.
We've bent the rules of taste. Physicist, isn't it time to bend time?
Let me get this straight, babe. You want me to book a hotel for all your friends and family?
Yes, with the fundraising event.
Can't make it happen, babe. I'm getting my highlights done. Gotta get my mani-pedi on. Yeah.
Ditch the zero. Get with the heroes.
HotelPlanner.com guarantees you the lowest rates or they will pay for your hotel room.
Tire Rack
TireRack.com is more than just an online tire resource. We're your one-stop online tire know-how, know-who, and know-what. Speaking of that, know what else? Our prices are practically unbeatable. And that's all you need to know. We're revolutionizing the way you buy tires. Right now, get up to a $50 mail-in rebate when you buy a set of 4 eligible winter tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Let's throw down some style. Style that lasts a lifetime. What do you say we get the look we want, the soft feel we need, and have it stand up to anything we throw at it? Then let's get it installed and save money on the whole project. We're lowering the cost of going barefoot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get exclusive Martha Stewart Living and Platinum Plus installed in your whole house for just $37.
Every week, get the inside track on the CBS College Sports Network's Games of the Week, the Mountain West, Armed Forces, and Conference USA. Plus a special look ahead to CBS Sports SEC coverage. Don't miss the lineup.
So Trent Steelman will not be the quarterback for Army again here. JC does not have his helmet as Max Jenkins leads the cadets on the field offensively to begin the fourth quarter. And generally speaking, no helmet means no play.
Yeah. You know, when you're not carrying it, you don't know where it is. There's no real chance of you getting in the game.
Nice fake. Jenkins keeps. Fooled the defense. Patrick Mealy looked like he had it. And that quick read by the quarterback, game 7. We broke that down last year, Jason, covering the games here at Mikey Stadium. The midline option versus the triple option.
But once again, yeah, I mean, this is more the midline to get themselves out to the edge. But the horse collar tackle, that's twice now that we haven't seen it called, and it's happening right in the sideline in front of the officials.
No flag there.
Nope.
Second down. Passing right behind him. Spin and a handoff. This time it does go to Mealy. And he's bottled up. Shy of the marker. Gain of 2. Corey Paredes now has 5 tackles in the game. Paredes, a team captain for Hawaii, former walk-on. Coaches call him a gym rat. He is one of the hardest workers on the team, and that is what earns you a captain spot. Steven Anderson, captain on the other side for Army. 2 for 8 so far. 3rd down conversion tries today for the Black Knights. 3rd and short. Jenkins keeps lunging. All the pins on the spot. It's close, but I don't think he got there.
Jenkins keeps the ball.
Gonna need a measurement here. It's close.
This is the part of football I always find interesting. You got the officials 26 yards away trying to determine what happens at the bottom of a pile.
Time for a Lexus precision measurement. He did get it. By half football, 1st down, Army. Jenkins and Ellison get together here. Now, Max Jenkins, as we talked about, never taken an offensive snap in his career. His brother Ross, a quarterback at Louisiana Tech, who started there last year.
37 coming out.
So it runs in the family. He's out of Houston. Today's 1st and 10 line being brought to you by Golden Corral. Cobb's the man in motion. Jenkins is keeping. Max throws deep downfield for Brooks. Got turned around, incomplete.
Jenkins
on the 30-yard line.
But you got to give credit to Army for taking some shots downfield. I mean, you've got to do some stuff like that. You can't just continuously run this option up the middle of the field and try the edges. At some point in time, you've got to see if the defense or the DBs for Hawaii are playing honest, if they're really, you know, respecting the vertical threat of your wide receivers.
Cobbs split out to the right along with Brooks. George Jordan at the game. Nice effort against Eastern Michigan last week with 3 catches. Jared Hess from that B-back spot. Gonna create some offensive room here for Army. Close to the 41, gain of 3 for Hassan.
Keeps his feet going.
Sometimes just about pushing that pile. Use your big body, just move the pile, keep the momentum rolling forward.
Corey Paredes.
His dad, Don, a 1971 West Point grad, reached the rank of colonel. Grandfather, Don, Lieutenant 29th Infantry, part of the D-Day Omaha Beach landing. Sister Kelsey, a West Point grad, this past May.
That's some family tradition.
I tell you, with Army, Hassan's in the right place. The pitch, Jared Hassan comes near side, looking for that marker. The spot's pretty good. Should have an Army first down to the 48. Chains move again.
You know, what was interesting about that play is that's one of the first times we've really seen Hassan get to the outside. He spent most of the day in between the tackles, and all of a sudden you put that big body run around the outside, you give him an opportunity to use that frame against those little DBs. Just a nice job of giving him some open space. And, you know, the DBs are always going to go low on a big guy like that.
That's a great point. First time we've really seen it. You and I watched game film yesterday of the Eastern Michigan game last week. Didn't see a lot of the running outside the tackles.
Oh, they move him right inside, let him push the pile, and just pound away.
Career best 71 yards rushing for him so far. Carries this time from that traditional B-back spot right up the middle. And he's into Hawaii territory.
Jared Hassan straight ahead.
Close to the 49.
But what they're doing right now, more important than anything else, is they're controlling the clock and they're keeping that Hawaii offense on the sideline. And so far, I think they've only had 2 possessions this entire half, or 1. This entire half, so they've done a good job offensively of just keeping them throttled.
Yep, just a couple. One resulted in a touchdown. Remember the fumble on the directional kick. Second down. Mealy gets the carry, and he's put down.
Patrick Mealy straight ahead.
At times, it can be a bit methodical, but you see the process and the point that they're trying to do. They, you know, control the clock, move the chains. They set themselves up for a 3rd and 3 now. I mean, just with the runs, these are manageable situations, and you give yourself the opportunity on 4th down if you want to go for it. And, you know, it'll probably be a 4th and 1.
Gain of 4 there. Jordan Hanohano made the tackle defensively for Hawaii. So another 3rd down try. 3rd and 3 for the Cadets. Jenkins hands off. It's Hassan who's upended, hit right away. Great play up front by Von Maetunga, who got to Hassan first and sent him airborne, way shy of the first down, got to the 45.
Now here's where Rich gets to go ahead and decide, what do I want to do, what I want to do, you know? But because they run the ball so effective, or I should say because they've run the ball so effective here in the second half, they have this option now at 4th and 1. And they've got some confidence on the offensive line to know that we can get this.
They're 2 for 2 so far. 4th down conversions. Another huge play. Cobbs around the end. Cobbs, first down and more. Chains move for Army. Jeremy Bryant made the tackle. He ran away from George Daly Lyles. Gain of 9, Brian Cobbs.
You know what else we have to start talking about is the fatigue factor for this defensive line and this whole entire defense for Hawaii. They've been out here basically the entire second half. That's going to start to wear on you. And we've talked about this, sort of the Patrick Mealy getting up there and getting the blocks, right? I mean, you could just see the huge block by Patrick Mealy to put the defender on the ground so they really have the opportunity to make the tackle.
Brian Cobbs, Jason, was a cornerback last year, had 5 tackles, moved to the slot back position in the spring, and has been a big weapon for Army this year so far.
Saw some speed, some ability, and you know, Rich Ellison's a big fan of that, of finding guys that have athletic ability, just moving them around.
There's Jacob Boone's first carry of the season, did not get a touch last week against Eastern Michigan. Jared Hassan was really banged up on that play where he was flipped by Maetunga a moment ago. Hassan's back out. I just saw Trent Steelman give Jacob Boone a big high five with his right hand. It's the left shoulder that's jammed right now.
I like it, with his right hand.
And that's apparently the reason Trent cannot play. Timeout. 2 timeouts left for the Warriors, 1 for Army. Great action today from the Mid-Hudson Valley.
Our breakout session is going to be great. Got the Gecko t-shirt, 4 million drivers switched. Gecko water bottle, notebook, chamois.
Sir, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with all this. I mean, it's not about me. It should be about how Geico's the third largest car insurance company in the nation. Things like that.
Oh, of course. We're not going to get carried away.
Yeah, all right. As long as we don't overdo it.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I think it was the Sunday style that brought us together.
I think a weekend review. Getting the times delivered for me, well, that's really the best part of the weekend. That's why I love the Weekender.
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday subscription that puts you in the center of the conversation.
The depth and breadth of reporting, the insight.
Call the 800 number and you save 50%.
Just $5.20 a week delivers the world to your home.
It's the best deal around. How many sections are you fluent in?
I'm fluent in 3 sections, actually. Business, travel, the book review.
Sunday styles.
You call the toll-free number and you save 50%.
He likes a deal.
I do.
I just went to Spain and the travel section helped me plan my trip. So you call the 800 number and you save 50%.
50% off home delivery? Fantastic.
The best journalists in the world work for the Times, and there's no debating that.
So call now. Get the conversation going.
Get the Weekender for as low as $5.20 a week. Call 1-800-395-9166 and be part of a great conversation.
I'll trade you the magazine for the book review.
Deal.
Army talking strategy here. 9:13 to go in the fourth quarter. A tie game with Hawaii out of the WAC. What action we've seen here today. How about the action in 2003? Only time these teams have met. Timmy Chang was a quarterback then, record-setting QB. And Hawaii just crushed the Black Knights. This was not close. 741 yards of total offense. Timmy Chang ran for a score, threw for another. Army, unfortunately that year for the Cadets, 0-13. That year, Chang led the Warriors to a win over Houston in the Hawaii Bowl in triple overtime, 54-48. 2 of the top 4 FBS all-time pass leaders, Timmy Chang, Colt Brennan. Serious numbers on the islands.
Winging it.
Pitch and catch. Jenkins, nice spin move on the keep. And Max gets himself to the 24-yard line. Just shy of the first down. He's been impressive, Jason, so far.
Absolutely. You know, now when you look at it, when Ian was, the offensive coordinator, was talking about he knows the offense, well, not only does he know it, but he knows how to run it.
Gonna have a measurement here. It was very close to that first down.
We've talked about the differences of knowing and being able to execute.
Time for that Lexus precision measurement. First down, Army. Let's take a look at the United States Postal Service play selection for today. Jason, break it down for us.
Well, you know what? It's not shocking when you look at it. The Army's going to run the football 50 times. 50 times, but what's surprising is I think they had 38 yards after the first quarter. Now all of a sudden, you know, they're starting to control that clock, keep Hawaii's offense on the sideline, get back into the rhythm of what they do best, and that's run this triple option, chew up yards and chew up time.
Masson gets the carry. You're absolutely right about that. Chewing up time, so critical. Pai Balimalu, the stub linebacker, makes the stop for the Warriors.
And you know what else is happening right now? This Hawaii defense is gassed. They've been out on the field almost the entire second half here. They're starting to get tired. It's difficult to fire off the ball as a defensive lineman, you know, over and over and over again.
6-hour time differential. When this game started at 12 Eastern time, it was 6 a.m. on the islands. The Hawaiian kids have been here since Wednesday morning, but still a tough adjustment for them. Cobb's running right. Jumps over a tackler in Demetrius Davis. A short pickup for Army. Clock stops at 8:02. I'm with you. You want to milk the clock as much as you can. Try to score here against Coach McMackin's team.
Your best friend is the clock and the fact that your offense is chewing up yards, because if nothing else, you create a better field possession for your team and you keep their offense on the sideline. And what happens is when you've been on the sideline that long, it's hard to get loose and start running routes again.
Top of your screen, the drive update. 15 plays. Look at the time they've chewed up.
7.5 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Brown in motion. Passing the carry, wrapped up right away. And well shy of the marker, gets him to the 19-yard line. Good push up front against George Daly Lyles, a freshman from Long Beach. Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator, who's in the booth up here with us for Hawaii, told us this week that Daly Lyles really struggled last week against SC, playing against a lot of the guys he knew from high school. will play for the Trojans. The lights were a bit bright, he said, for the freshman last week. He's been better this week. Carlton tries the field goal. No good. Partially blocked Hawaii to keep us tied 28-28. Big play on special teams for Hawaii, and they'll get the ball back. John Hardy Tala'u.
Huge play for Hawaii because now all of a sudden you've given this team new life.
Tie game. Warriors get it back. Block kick.
I just got this buck double off the BK value menu. It's flame broiled and it's only $1. It was a smart move, so I can be dumb.
Need a flashlight?
It's okay. The lightning helps me see.
Offset your stupid with the buck double. Just $1 from Burger King.
Dear Mrs. Crandall, it's easy to get so busy. We can...
Recently, a whole new kind of cloud came to St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Ask me what a cloud feels like.
And here are the first real people to sleep on those brand new clouds.
Ask me what it feels like to be comforted by a cloud.
A new Temper Cloud Supreme by Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me why we love our cloud.
Ask me how it's soft as a cloud.
And it still supports me.
Ask me why this is 1,000,000 times better than my pillow top.
A pillow top may look nice and puffy, but underneath are hard metal springs.
Ask me why it's bye-bye pillow top.
Bye-bye.
The new Temper Cloud is the plushest, softest Tempur-Pedic ever. And it comes with a 20-year warranty.
Ask me where I'd like to be right now.
Ask me how many people I'm going to recommend this to.
Tempur-Pedic brand owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how to take the first step to your own cloud.
Call for your free information kit with DVD 1-800-913-6364 or visit TempurPedic.com/cloud.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema. The animals agree. Furry is the funniest, the freshest, the most ferociously fun family film of the year.
There's a bear driving the golf cart.
Doing a good job, too.
Brendan Fraser.
The animals are out to get me.
Furry Vengeance, available on DirecTV. Movies playing on channels 125 through 199.
28-28 game. Big block field goal. John Hardy Tuliao, who from Southern California, Jason, he blocked 26 kicks in high school to set a state record. Now, that incredible mark helps set up the players with a catch out there for Hawaii, and there are plenty.
Let's just call that an art form.
26.
As is, spreading the ball. I mean, getting everybody involved in your offense.
Temecula from just outside San Diego. That is just incredible. So new life for Hawaii when things really looked dismal for Greg McMacket in his third year, trying to bring back the Warriors to the success of June Jones era. Not easy to do. Moniz, hands off Green, first down carry, not a lot. Marcus Hilton and Mackey involved in the tackle defensively for Army.
Marcus Hilton, the first to get there.
The difficult part now is flipping the switch. This defense and this offense have been sitting for a long time. You got to flip a switch now. You got to get back out there, get back into the rhythm of your offense and the things that you were doing defensively.
6.5 to go, fourth quarter. 2nd and 8. Moniz, lots of time, fires near side. Salas makes a good catch. Now it's called incomplete. LB Brown on coverage was right in the grill of Greg Salas and made sure the star Hawaii receiver couldn't bring it in.
A good job on coverage, a good job of creating pressure on the quarterback. Overall, right now, Army's really got a feel for how they want to play this offense. They're doing a good job. The big key now is not allowing the big run or not allowing Moniz to escape the pocket and create the quarterback yards that you can't account for.
Hawaii 4-7. So far, third down conversions. Everyone at Michie Stadium making noise. Third down. Moniz. Gann pressure past Salas. Grabs it and then got hit. Off his shoe tops, made a nice catch, but he stopped well shy of the marker. Jordan Trimble has his 5th tackle, gain of 4, punt time Hawaii.
And you can just see the confidence of this Army front four. Without bringing a blitz or any pressure, you can just see the pass rush. I mean, they feel so good. They're having such great confidence in getting by these nice little hold that it gives them life, and they just keep coming and keep coming.
Dunaki, nice punt. Jackson watches that one sail into the corner. Well, it all depends on the spot.
Yeah. Well, it looked pretty in the air.
It looked good in the air, but maybe not. How about this? Army's going to get good field position at the 44 of the Black Knights. Goes for a 30-yard punt. It was a spiral, but it was out of bounds off the side of Dunaki's foot.
Are things different now that I'm not crushing quarterbacks every Sunday?
Yeah, a little bit.
Thanks, Mike.
But I'm still Michael Strahan, so I love Dr. Pepper. The taste of these 23 flavors can never be equaled, like me. I got it.
Thanks.
Mike?
Hey.
What, man? Come on, Mike, man. Nice hit. There's nothing like a pepper. Trust me. I've sent people to the doctor.
I'm the 4th string quarterback. But due to a pregame meal of all-you-can-eat calamari, now I'm the 1st string quarterback. But I'm also a transfer student, so I'm a little lost. And if you've got cut rate insurance, your jacked up rates might make you sick. So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
I'm Gino Borchardt, and I'm the biggest Horned Frog fan. Game day rituals, of course, there are so many of them. Not to get too personal, but actually I'm wearing my game day boxers as we speak.
28-28 game, under 6 to go, 4th quarter, and Army's got the ball. Let's take a look at the Travelers Insurance game highlights.
Game highlights, game how we got here. It started out with Hawaii, the aerial assault at the beginning of this game. You know, there's Pilaris gets you a nice touchdown pass. It's 21-0 when you blinked, and then all of a sudden, Army just turned up the pressure right there. Nice sack by Josh McNary, causing the fumble. Jenkins getting his first career carry, first career touchdown. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's 28-28 when you look like it was just going to be a runaway at 21-0.
Army has 36 snaps for Rich Ellis and Jason in the second half. Hawaii has 13 in the second half. How about that?
That'll wear your defense out.
It also got the ball again.
It also hurts your offense as far as, you know, just that consistency.
Thinking about running instead, Jenkins throwing. Thinking about throwing instead, he's running to the 49-yard line of Hawaii. Nice run there of 7 yards by Jenkins as Trent Steelman stays on the Army bench with the injured shoulder.
It's funny being up here sometimes and seeing the quarterback or seeing somebody do something, and you're going, no, just run it. You don't want to pass that.
He listened to you.
I think
that's
he did.
The good news.
He felt me.
6'2", 195-pound junior out of Houston. Never taken a snap until today. Steelman out, Jenkins in. On second down, Brown in motion. Handoff Mealy, charging forward, spinning. Needs the 46 of the first down. He stopped shy of that. Gassed, very tired. Hawaii defensive front. He's got to try to hang on here. Gain of 3, 3rd and short.
And 1.
As Trent Steelman, all he can do is watch, and you can see it on his face how disappointed that young man is. He can't be out there.
You've worked all off season for these moments, and all of a sudden, game 2, you're watching on the sideline. Not exactly what you pictured.
This is why they have Jared Hassan in the game. Instead, going to be Jenkins. Keeping, first down and more. Daly Lyles makes the stop.
Jenkins follows Hassan.
Along with Kenny Estes, the junior.
Wow, look at that. We were just talking about a halftime, the time of possession, and Hawaii was winning the time of possession. We were so shocked. I think it was 16-13. All of a sudden, it's 33-21.
Really big game in each of these teams' season. Army trying to start 2-0. First time since the 96 Independence Bowl team. Last winning record at Army. Last bowl game at Army. Cobbs carrying. Runs over one tackler. Nice second effort by Cobbs.
You just get the feeling there's some life in this Army team. That there's just this fight, this second wind or whatever it is. The second half, they just feel like they can move this ball at will. They're doing a great job of executing their offense, and everybody's picking up the slack for Trent Stillman's absence, and, including Max Jenkins. He's come in and done a fantastic job here running this offense.
Gain of 6. Torres missed the tackle. Pai Malu, the stub linebacker, or the Sam linebacker, made the stop for Hawaii. 2nd and 3. Jenkins and Army moving again. Jenkins, little option look, upended. Good play by Kenny Estes, the first to get to him.
Wow.
3 minutes left. Timeout called by Hawaii. Each team 1 timeout left. Thrilling finish to come from Mikey Stadium.
What's your 2:30 feeling like?
Well, it's like my brain just stops working.
Feel fuzzy, groggy.
I can barely keep my eyes open.
So what do?
I used to get another coffee.
Yeah, coffee or soda.
Then another coffee.
I switched to 5-hour energy.
Just 1 5-hour energy.
The rest of the day, I'm great.
0 sugar, only 4 calories.
I don't feel jittery. I'm in control.
It's me. Just a better, more awake me.
Gotta try 5-hour energy.
5-hour energy. Hours of energy now. No 2:30 feeling later.
And now I'll turn it over to the Gecko.
Thank you, sir. As we all know, Geico has been saving people money on RV, camper and trailer insurance, as well as motorcycle insurance. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
What about this?
What's this one do? Maybe that one.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We run motorcycle insurance?
Take 15 minutes to see how much you could save on motorcycle, RV, and camper insurance.
Let me get this straight, babe. You want me to book a hotel for all your friends and family?
Yes, with the fundraising event?
Can't make it happen, babe. I'm getting my highlights done. Gotta get my mani-pedi on. Yeah. Ditch the zero. Get with the heroes.
HotelPlanner.com guarantees you the lowest rates or they will pay for your hotel room.
College football on the CBS College Sports Network is being brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now. No 2:30 feeling later.
They are known as the long gray line of graduates, including some of our nation's most famous and influential men. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ulysses S. Grant, George Patton, Douglas MacArthur, Omar Bradley, Norman Schwarzkopf, all graduates of West Point. Greg McMacken and Hawaii, after this game, will stay in New Jersey tonight, then fly to Las Vegas. They will not go back to the islands. They'll stay at a resort outside Vegas to get ready for the next game at Colorado in Boulder. It's a long road trip.
And that timeout right there was just to give their defense a breather for this big 3rd down. Because that only leaves them with 1 timeout as well.
Each team 1 timeout left. Big 3rd down play. Jenkins, broken play. Trouble, hit. Shy of the 1st down.
I promise you that's not exactly what they drew up out of that timeout.
Not at all. Von Maetunga, 5th tackle for the junior left defensive tackle of Hawaii. Big play, now 4th down. Short field, out of field goal range of Carlton.
You've got to, because at this point in time, the difference between the 34-yard line and the 14-yard line to Hawaii isn't that much.
So it'll be a 51-yarder, you're right, too far.
You're not kicking a 51-yard, and punting, it's not going to do you any good either at this point. Just you got to, if you can run the football, get your 4 yards.
All right, 4th down try. Big conversion attempt. Timeout, Jenkins. That was his last timeout for Army now. No play stoppages remaining with 2:16 in the game.
And the interesting thing is what they'll do after this timeout. They come out and still go for it, or if they punt it. But I would say go for it. 34 or 14, there's not a difference. You creating an extra 20 yards for a passing offense isn't going to hurt them.
Very special game for Rich Ellerson, Army's head coach. He started his career at Navy. And then 2 years in, summer training cruise went to Hawaii, and he stayed there. And transferred to become the starting senior center eventually. He was also a linebacker at Hawaii. Then defensive line GA, a grad assistant in '77. Came back to be the defensive line coach, outside backers and special teams. Love that picture of Coach E in action. And eventually the DC defensive coordinator as well at Hawaii. He recruited Ken Niumatalolo, who played quarterback in Army, the head coach at Navy. And after Navy's tough loss to Maryland last week, he called Coach Ken up and said, I would have done the same thing with Ricky Dobbs. 4th down, late in the game, going for the win. I would have tried for it, not the field goal.
And look at him right here. Late in the game, 4th down. He doesn't even have Ricky Dobbs, and he's doing the same thing.
He's got Max Jenkins in there for Steelman.
You got a team that runs the football. You have to believe in yourself and your team that they can get these 4 yards.
All right, huge play, Army. Jenkins hands, now pitches. It's Mealy, turns the corner, has the first down for Army. Patrick Mealy grabs it to the 29, chains move, gain of 5. Escorted out of bounds by Walker. What a conversion by the Black Knights.
And what a great job of having patience by Max Jenkins. He paused. You watch him, he comes to the line of scrimmage. He just hesitates for that moment, and that draws the linebacker and the defensive end to him and then pitches it out the last minute. I mean, for a guy who's never played in a game, you'd never know by watching what he's doing so far here in the second half.
And they are now within the range of Carlton, who's long in his career is 51 if you're thinking field goal for Army now. Jenkins and Army thinking touchdown. He's swamped right away.
Jenkins on the kick.
At this point, if you're head coach, you go to Carlton, you say, listen, which hash do you want it on? Because we're going to make sure it's on the exact hash you want on the right, it's going to stay on the right. We're going to do nothing to put you in a position where you don't feel comfortable. If you want the left, we'll get it over to the left. I mean, you don't sacrifice the comfort level of a kicker for a couple of yards here.
Carlton's career long 51 yards against Vanderbilt. That great game you and I covered last year. He's getting ready. A junior out of Wilmington, Delaware, set an Army record for field goals made last year. He had 18. Handoff Hassan. Daley Lyles helps make the tackle inside the 25 to the 22.
Hawaii used the last timeout.
Timeout, Greg McMackin in Hawaii. With 58 seconds remaining, his exhausted defense will get some water and take a break. What a story. Max Jenkins taking over for the injured Trent Steelman, trying to set up Alex Carlton for a game winner. Remember that game last year, Jason. 2 kicks off the left upright, almost the same point. Vandy had one, and then eventually Carlton in overtime to beat the Commodores, and really the biggest win of the 2009 season.
Oh, it was great for their program. And it was great for Carlton just to, have that success in a situation, where everybody, as the kicker, unfortunately, when it all, after a 60-minute game, when it all rides down to one person, they'll expect you just to make that kick. And for it to go in was huge for his confidence.
And remember, that had followed a miss against Tulane in the final moments where they lost against the Green Wave. And Bob Toledo here at Michie Stadium. So, as is the case in baseball, where the pitcher's going to come in or has a no-hitter, no one's talking to the kicker down there.
Oh, no. Leave him
alone. No
alone.
one's saying good luck or anything. You just leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
But also, the key to being a defensive back or a quarterback or kicker, short memory. So you don't have time to dwell on things, because if you dwell on something, it's going to affect you the next time you go out there. It's just, Army uses a great word, clear. Clear whatever happened, move on.
All right, 3rd down. Off the timeout. Whistles. Flags first delay of game, and there's a clock management problem.
Delay the game against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So that backs up a potential field goal 5 yards.
Sure
Rick Jellison knows, darn it, we didn't need that to happen.
Well, that also changes your play call here on 3rd down, because you want to make sure you get those 5 yards back, so you're not so content that's just taking a quick dive up the middle.
3rd and 9. Jenkins keeps just trying to get to the middle of the field and help Carlton, but he lost the ball. He lost the ball at the end of the run. Was he down or not? Yes, he was down, say the officials. Hawaii trying for a last gasp turnover here, but he has been ruled down. Manny Silva
Clock is ticking.
made the stop. Clock is ticking. No one has a timeout remaining here.
on to attempt a field goal.
That's close. Very close. Here comes Carlton. Going to be a 44-yard try.
Previous play.
I think look at this one. It's really close, Jason, whether or not the ball was out. Knee down first, ball out first, that's the question.
Yeah, this is one of those things, though, where it's got to be irrefutable. The official out there, he's down right there. Now that's not even close.
Got to look at the knee and the ball.
He's down. Ball's not even out yet.
Mana Silva recovered the fumble, if it was a fumble. I don't know, Jason. I don't see the knee down.
I'm with you now.
I don't see the knee down
The more
before the
angles
ball's
you see,
out.
the more angles you see, the scarier it gets for Army.
Kamalu Umu forced the fumble. Now, from that last angle, it was hard to see exactly where his knee was when the ball popped loose, but he was in the air, not on the ground, before the ball then came out. Here's the fumble. Look for the knee. That's the key here, folks. The knee has got to be on the ground. It's not. That's going to be a fumble. I think that's going to be a fumble.
But see, you can't see if he's got the ball right there.
But it's loose.
The defender's in the way. It's loose, but I mean, I'm with you.
It's close.
Because the defender obscures the view a little bit right there, it's going to be difficult for the booth review guy.
Watch this again, though, folks. I believe you got to watch the knees and the ball. That's where the hit was, right there. That's where the hit was. Yep, it's out.
Yeah,
It's
I see no knees touching right there.
It's out.
There's no knees, and the ball is out. That's your best view right there, guys.
That is. So
you can see there's no knee touching the ground, and the ball was out.
Up here in the press box with us, video replay judge will look at that, and we believe it should be a fumble.
Our uneducated view.
That is our opinion, of course, and they are looking at all of our CBS College Sports Network.
The call was a fumble on the field, and he was
replays.
adamant. The side judge, he was adamant about it. It was down. He was pointing,
down, exactly.
blowing the whistle the whole 9 yards. So, you know, the guy in the booth's got to see enough.
Indisputable video evidence is required to reverse the call on the field. That is the official reading of the rule on that.
I think that last view gives you your best shot at the old indisputable.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a huge official review. Will it be a field goal try for Army to win the game, or will it be Hawaii's ball and potentially overtime? There, the ball's out, and his legs are in the air. There's no question.
I mean, I can see right underneath the defender, and there's daylight.
Yep.
Exactly, and that ball is clearly out. Wow. What a turn of events this will be.
Talk about the drama for that young man.
Oh.
Who's coming to replace the injured Trent Steeman, Max Jenkins. Will he, in fact, lead his team to a potential game-winning field goal, or maybe face overtime?
And he's played flawless up until this moment. And the scary part is all of a sudden you get yourself into an overtime situation. If this is the case, you know, we're speculating here, but obviously you get yourself into an overtime situation. You give Hawaii a complete new life. They're built for the 30 and in. You know, they're built just to wing it and get themselves in, whereas Army's going to have a tougher time in that short field running the ball in.
Kamalu Umu, senior right defensive end, made
After further review, the ball came loose before the player was down. It'll be Hawaii's ball. 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line.
Oh, my. Hawaii gets it back on the review. Jason, we saw it. Great look from everyone on our crew. Clearly the ball was out.
They got the call right. I really believe that, you know, this is what review was built for, and they got the call right there. You know, you could see there was plenty of air underneath the knees. You know, Coach Ellerson may not like it, but it's the right call. Now you just got to hope for this 24 seconds of this Hawaii offense just go vertical on you.
The last overtime game we had here, won by Army over Vanderbilt last fall. A wild game with crazy turn of events. Remember the Trent Steelman touchdown run where Jason Johnson, the lineman, ripped off his helmet, cost him 15 yards. Vandy scored on the next kickoff back with 2 field goals off uprights. It was wild. Similar circumstance here today at Mikey. 24 seconds left, and Moniz has a little time now.
Oh, they're not taking a knee.
Absolutely not. Ryan Moniz back on the field is throwing on 1st down. It's brought in. Royce Pollard makes the catch. Late hit, possible sideline.
And a late call.
Steve Erzinger got in too late and made contact. That may cost Army 15. That could be a disaster.
Personal foul against the defense. Late hit out of bounds. Number 9, 15 yards from the seating spot. First down.
As a defender right now, what you've got to be most cautious of is vertical and sideline. Keep the ball in the middle of the field. Hawaii has no timeouts. Okay, keep the ball in the middle of the field. The odds of them being able to get up there and snap another ball off if they get this thing 20 yards down the field is slim, so you just can't let him get to the sideline that easy.
Unbelievable.
Now is not the time to just play completely, soft or aggressive.
Plus 15
just a happy medium.
on a personal foul. Moniz throws, sideline route, man there. Pollard brings it in, a catch for Hawaii. All the way down to the 14-yard line with 12 seconds left. Royce Pollard on the go route. 31 yards, and they are in field goal range.
He gave him a little double move on the sideline over there. Just a little, I don't know if it was an out and up, just a curl and go, but kind of gave him a little stutter and took off. And give Army credit. They're doing exactly what everybody at home would say, like, don't play passive. I mean, they're bringing the heat. They're trying to get to the quarterback, but that means you got to play good man-to-man defense on the outside.
Moniz spikes it to stop the clock. 10 seconds to go, and they're not going to take any chances here. Here comes Scott Enos, the senior kicker from outside Sacramento, California. Had 3 field goals last week in the loss to USC to try to win the game here for the Warriors. Going to be a 31-yard attempt official. He was 12 of 19 last year field goal tries. He's got it! With 7 seconds left, Hawaii takes the lead.
Hawaii 31, Army 28.
And after playing an absolutely perfect half for Army, they just self-inflicted wounds here in the last 30 seconds of this football game. Not exactly making it tough on a kicker when you give him the ball there at the 20.
A year ago, Enos was only 2 of 6 on field goals from 40 yards out or more. And the JC transfer from Sierra Junior College in California nails it for Coach McMacken. And the Warriors hope to start this long 2-game road trip to the mainland in style with a win today. Colorado next week out of the Big 12. It came down to the replay, and what about Hawaii's quick offense? And Erzinger's penalty, disastrous for Army.
Yeah, not the time to be aggressive. It's got to play smart football. I mean, that's the one thing that this coaching staff really preaches is smart football. Not just what's smart.
Hugs all around for now. On the Hawaii bench. Enos to kick off. Cobbs and Brown are deep. Going to be a squib kick. Short kick. Ball loose. Brown just trying to keep it alive. And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the ball game. Here's your final score. Hawaii 31.
In gut-wrenching, heartbreaking fashion, Army loses to Hawaii 31-28. Each team 1-1 on the season. Coach Ellerson against his alma mater. A game he told us he had looked forward to so long. Crushing defeat today.
I mean, crushing, demoralizing. These are the ones that just haunt you. These are the games that, because as a football team, you realize you've done everything you were asked to do after that first initial onslaught. That 21-0, from that moment on, Army controlled this football game. Controlled it up until the last 30 seconds. And so all of a sudden, the last 30 seconds, it was self-inflicted wounds and, mistakes and fumble.
And give tremendous credit to Bryant Moniz. shaken up in that USC game last week. He and Greg Salas with a late rally. The offense for Hawaii had not been on the field the entire second half. Time of possession completely dominated by Army, and it was set up for Carleton, but the fumble by Jenkins, the call on the field overruled by replay, gave Hawaii one last gasp, and they converted. More than 30,000 in attendance, largest home opener since 2005 here at Michie Stadium. Most of whom, of course, Army fans. Some heartbreak today for them.
Yeah.
Time now for the Army alma mater. (31-28) the final. Army has North Texas next week. Coming up next, Inside College Football with Molly Karam and Brian Jones, followed by Navy, Georgia Southern here on the CBS College Sports Network. You'll want to see Ricky Dobbs in action, the Mids quarterback. For Jason Sehorn, Andy Nicholas, our cadet reporter, and our entire CBS College Sports Network crew, I'm Dave Ryan saying so long. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to CBSCollegeSports.com. This has been a presentation of the CBS College Sports Network. So long from West Point.